The Rock told me to buy this tequila, and it's pretty good. Welcome, everybody, to the Saltcast Tuesday show. Today we have a different type of show. Wow, that hit me hard.
Were you drinking out of the bottle?
I'm drinking out of the bottle. It's feeling good. I'm joined as always by my fantastic panel of nerds. I'm going to introduce my people. Matt Vader's here.
Hi.
Hello. Jude is also here.
You're pulling a Jude right now, drinking straight out of the bottle.
This is not bad. Not bad.
I'm surrounded by
These celebrity alcohols have something going for them. I'll tell you that much. Producing the show, Matt Gator.
Did you just hiccup?
I did.
It's better than him burping.
Matthew,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And here to usurp my chair is the incredible Astro Nerd Boy. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, gang?
Good, good. How
Glad
are you
to
doing
be
today?
here. Well, I'm doing pretty good. My work day is technically done, so hey.
So before I turn the wheel over to Jesus over here, I just want to let everybody watching know that we are also simulcasting to Astro Nerd Boy's channel. So head over there and subscribe to the Astro Nerd Boy channel, which should be linked in the description. If it's not, somebody with a wrench will put it in the comments. And head over there. He's a good guy, very generous. We love him. We hang out with him all the time. He's in our Discord app. Go to saltynerd.discord.com to join the community. It's a fantastic place to be. And my last pitch for this episode is to join the members on YouTube. We have exclusive content just for you that's video-centric, where we talk about things and we do a lot of really fun stuff. So join up as a member, and you might even get a gifted member, because that happens a lot, apparently. People are very, very generous with their gifts members.
If
members?
somebody
Member
gifts.
The member gifts. Member berry.
We currently have 6 people watching.
That's
so
fantastic.
if one person gifts 5, then all 5 of them will get a membership.
That's wow.
Yeah.
That's the key.
You're rocking it today.
And he wants to talk to us about successful YouTube channels.
I know, right? What's happening?
Oh shit. Anyway, Astro Nerd Boy, take it away, sir. The show is yours. Thank you for joining us. And
Thanks for letting me hijack the show. We were originally going to do this on my Astro Nerd Boy Rambles channel, but unfortunately, it just wasn't going to work out. So I do appreciate you letting me do this. So, first thing I wanted to talk about was nerddom. I mean, what was you guys' gateway into this?
You're going way back. For I was 5, I guess. I can officially say I fell in love with movies when I was 5. My father took me to Jurassic Park. It was the first movie that I ever remember seeing in theaters. I went. It was 1993 or 1994, and I was terrified. Like, watching that movie scared me half to death. I was literally shaking in my boots, and I was like cuddled up next to my dad, and I was just like freaking out, but I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. And then when it was all over and the T-Rex roars and it says, dinosaurs once ruled the earth, and they fly away on the helicopter, I looked at my dad and I was like, can we go see that again? And I was hooked. I was a movie guy. I fell in love with movies. I would watch them as much as I possibly could. I probably start off with Disney flicks as a kid, watching VHS. And then as I got older, I got into the 80s and 90s action flicks like Aliens and stuff like that. And ever since then, I was just like, Star Wars was, of course, a huge thing for me as well. I went to the movie. I think I saw The Phantom Menace like 10 times in the theaters. I was 10 years old. I was the target demographic at the time. I was like just blinded by the awe-inspiringness of Star Wars. I didn't really, once I aged, I kind of aged out of that movie, but that made me fall in love with Star Wars. And I remember my dad taking me to Return of the Jedi when it came out for the special editions.
You and your dad have always gone to see like movies together, so it's like your thing, right?
Yeah. Well, my mom took me to Star Wars, so like my mom was the one who took me to go see the Phantom Menace a bunch of times. Like my dad was working, and my mom was like, she had a kid that she needed to do something with. She was like, let's go to the movies. But I remember going to see Return of the Jedi for the special edition releases in theaters with my dad. I can specifically remember standing in line at the movie theater. This is before online tickets and everything. It was like first come, first serve for the seatings. We stood in line at the theater. I remember how many people were there with their Star Wars merch on, and it was awesome. I loved it. And that's kind of where I got my start. It was with Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and stuff like that. So those are my theater experiences. I specifically remember going to the movies. Like this whole streaming genre that, what my kids grow up with, where they just like pick whatever there's on the TV. Like, I have endless choices to flip through. That was never me. I had to wait until movies came out to the theaters and then go see them. Like we didn't even really have that many at home. Like my VHS movies were very, very limited. I remember doing flips off my couch when I was watching Luke Skywalker on screen doing his Jedi thing. I remember like, I want to be like
Did
Luke
you hang from the
Skywalker.
ceiling from your toes trying to trying to get that lightsaber.
And then in
so-
the early 2000s with Fellowship of the Ring, I remember being in my backyard with a fake sword, pretending I was slaying orcs. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Like going to the movies was a big deal for me. But Vader, you're next. So you're old as shit. So tell me what happened with you.
I'm not. I'm 53.
Uh-huh.
I grew up in the 80s, man, when things were cool and
when things were good. Yeah.
You grew up
Absolutely.
Chaplin movies, right?
Charlie Chaplin movies? No. I grew up with stuff like the original Star Wars and the Indiana Jones and Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff like that. I've always loved movies. I'll be straight up honest. I'm not as into movies as the other three people at this table are. It's just one part of my nerd world that I am passionate about, that I love, that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always considered myself more of a guy who plays nerd games and stuff like that, and I haven't had a chance to do that in years. But I grew up playing alongside the movies. I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Playing video games on stuff like Bard's Tale on my Commodore 64.
Yeah.
I grew up playing the old TSR games, the Curse of the Azure Bonds, those old really cool Dungeons and Dragons computer games.
Do you remember? You know what I miss the point and click adventure games from the early 90s, like the Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I love those games.
We get in arguments in here all the time because you guys make me watch literally shit. Literal shit. And I say I'm not going to do this forever if you keep making me watch these terrible movies, and I'm not lying about it. But it's just, I can only take so many bad movies, right?
Right.
But I can play a lot of video games that are terrible for some reason. I don't get it. It's just, it's just a different kind of passion for me. I played Warhammer 40K. I painted miniatures. I did all that nerdy stuff. Is what.
Do you think
what made me a nerd?
Do you think Henry Cavill's for real?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, he's way too handsome to be into freaking Warhammer 40K.
It's just there's so many different aspects to the nerd world and they all kind of feed on each other.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no MCU or anything now without my people, and it kind of upsets me because I think the nerd world has been kind of usurped.
I think it's too mainstream.
It's too mainstream now. I used to, all of me and my friends, we used to get made fun of for playing Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. It kind of made us who we were. It was almost the way that we rebelled. Growing up with like super religious parents, having all these D&D things and all this, the heavy metal music and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's the stuff that formed me and shaped me and made me who I was. You know what I mean? So it's just the Star Wars and the movies and Lord of the Rings. It's all part of it. And it kind of annoys me how mainstream a lot of this stuff is now.
You liked being part of a
select
group.
I kind of did. Yeah. But that's we could do a whole podcast.
I get it. No, I understand completely.
Yeah.
Where
But that's my world.
Yeah.
That's where I come from. So.
Jude, how about you?
I've talked about this on the show before. Yeah. Like I was watching horror movies way before it was appropriate for me to be watching horror movies. I was raised on Jaws. My parents still tell the story of me as a 2-year-old saying, "Get 'em, Jaws, get 'em." I was rooting for the shark. I think one of my earliest childhood memories is of watching Poltergeist, and I still love that movie. I was raised on horror movies, and then in my probably early teens was around the time of like USA Up All Night and those like late night TBS dinner and a movie, and you got to see like the movies that didn't really make it to theaters, the B movies that were cheesy and campy, and that's where my love for movies really came in, and I still have a great appreciation and love for movies that are like your your traditional shitty movie. I
Mhm.
love having shitty movie nights, and I still love.
You invite me almost every week.
I try to get you to come over all the time.
No.
Thank God I have a best friend who is like, shitty movie night? Hell yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. But like I remember being like in that weird age where you want to be cool so bad, but you aren't yet. And I remember like watching movies and writing down some of the dialogue from it and trying to work it into conversations so that I would sound cooler than I was. Like movies have been a part of my life, my whole life. And I've always just had a great, profound love for the movies that don't typically get a whole lot of love.
Mhm. I admire your love of the B movie
Mhm.
because it's not something that I would normally be exposed to. And when I met you, it was kind of my first dip into like the cheesy horror B movie, like Night of the Comet, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, these movies are freaking so fun. So I appreciate it. And I know we're jazzing out over this new movie's coming out. Was it Black Demon or Black Devil or something like
Yes,
that? It's a shark movie.
I get so excited when you send me like, have you heard about this shitty movie?
Right?
And
Yeah.
I'm like, he's one of us.
I get so excited about it too, and I'm definitely talking about that movie because it looks like so much fun. I love shark movies, and I love that we have that connection, and it's because I met you through this podcast. And now we're like, let's go watch a shit. I wish I could come over more often. I really do. I know I always
I'll come sit in your garage with you.
That's fine. We can do that too. We did do that for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have like a garage office with no AC, and Jude's like, let's go watch a shitty movie.
Tiny. It's tiny. There was enough room for his dog to just kind of come in and hang out, but not move around.
All right. Kadish, you're next, man, because I know you went to film school.
Yes.
So tell your story.
Well, when I was very young, like kindergarten age, my dad was stationed in Germany. And so we were on Ramstein Air Force Base, my formative years. And there wasn't a lot of English stuff in Germany at the time. So I would go down to the base grocery store with my mom, and she'd always buy me a Batman, Superman, or Spider-Man comic book at the checkout. And so like I would sit there and I would read these comic books. And the only VCRs that we got were from friends and relatives in the States that would mail us this stuff for us to watch. And there was a copy of Star Wars: A New Hope that was sent to us. And it was like the only like VHS tape that we really had. And so like I just watched that thing on a loop constantly. So my formative years were spent with like Star Wars, Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. And when we got back to the States, I found out that there were 2 other Star Wars movies, and it freaking blew my mind. And so I immediately was like, oh, can we get those on VHS and watch those? And so like I finally, like after years of just watching like the first Star Wars, I finally got to see like how like the whole trilogy played out. I became obsessed with Star Wars. Like I would buy the books and I'd read the books and comic books and stuff like that. And so I was a comic book nerd for like a really long time. And it was all because of like the gateway of Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and Star Wars.
That's how they get you.
Mm-hmm. What else you got for us, Astro?
So, well, I was going to, if you don't mind, talk about my own entry into this because it's kind of a
You.
Yeah. Where are you coming from? And where did Astro Nerd Boy come from? That's I want to know where your name came from. Go ahead.
Okay, so the name Astro Nerd Boy. So everyone thinks it's something elaborate, but I'm Vader's age. Well, I'm actually a year older. So I've been around for a while. But when I bought my first computer that had a modem, there was a special offer. It's like, hey, you can get a 14.4 upgrade. Woohoo! And
Man, I remember those
Prodigy.
days.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what Prodigy is, but sure. And, I installed it, got the machine running, got on Prodigy. I'm looking around. I'm going, okay, is this the internet?
Astro, Prodigy was the shit. Okay, I was on that thing constantly.
I was too initially, but my first initial thing was like, I don't know. I thought the internet would be a little more impressive.
I met
I didn't
Bruce
realize.
Campbell on Prodigy.
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that story you told. Yeah, I remember.
But so I needed a chat name to try out chat. And I'm like, okay, Dragon. Hey, that'll be cool. And it was like, sorry, Dragon is taken. Would you like to be Dragon 1003246? And I'm going, no. Let me try something else. Dragon Breeze. And, on and on and on and on and on. So I'm like, I'm going to find a unique name. Come hell or high water, there will be no digits after whatever alias I come up with. And so I'm just going through, thinking of just random words. I'm like, okay, 2 random words is not working because I tried Astro Boy. And even though that's anime related, I wasn't thinking that at that time. And then Nerd Boy, and that was taken. And I said, F it, Astro Nerd Boy. What does that do? Astro Nerd Boy is not taken. Would you like to make this your name? I'm like, hell yes, go. So,
yes, forever.
Yes, and that's and that literally is how it is. And then my avatar was one I needed for an early forum. And I've just basically, I'd never even watched the anime. I had no idea what it was, but it seemed to fit my personality of someone screaming in rage. And, you talk about being the Salty Nerd podcast. Yes, I can be quite salty as well. So, yeah, it seemed to fit. But, yeah, that's where the name came from.
Yeah, that wasn't the original name for the podcast because it was something similar to what you just told about, like, other people taking the names already. Originally, it was supposed to be Nerdgasm podcast or something like that, but then I found out there was like 8 Nerdgasm podcasts out there. I was like, well, I can't pick that. And then I was just like, I should probably do I don't know, something like I'm irritated with current, because it happened right after The Last Jedi, so I was like pissed because that movie was terrible and they killed my favorite hero. And I was like, salty nerd will be fine. And then like it really got solidified when what was his name? What's that?
Roundhead?
Yeah, what's that piece of shit's name? No, not Roundhead. Pablo Hidalgo.
Oh, Pablo
Hidalgo.
Yeah.
He listed me with a bunch of the greats in our sphere, geeks and gamers and stuff like that. You were on there. Like, these are a bunch of toxic, salty nerds. And I was like, that's it. I'm keeping it. That's going to be the one.
The fandom.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, it's solidified. It's in concrete now. And then that's kind of like where I got the name from. But originally, like, I was going through a bunch of different names for the podcast and they were all taken. I understand, like, type it in and Google search it and see if there's anybody else out there with the same name. Turns out like there's a billion people out there. So I tried to find something a little bit more unique.
That's why there's a 74 on the back of my name.
Yeah, because there's other Matt Vaders.
There's other Matt Vaders.
73 of them.
No. My wife.
That was quick.
The 74 is simply.
That's your birthday, right?
No.
It's not even your birthday. Oh, no. Dude. This whole time I thought that was your birthday.
No, I was born in 1970.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's a dumb
Alex
story.
is bad at math.
Yeah. I'm like, he's fine. He's 74.
74 is actually my playing number that I had for football.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Glory days.
You were a jock in hiding?
Yeah, I was a nerd jock. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow, I didn't know those existed.
They existed.
I was in the marching band.
Remember
Yeah, so was I. I was
remember
marching
the
band.
television show Glee?
Yeah.
Remember the football players that were in the choir?
Yeah, that was you.
That was me.
Wow. I was
100%.
I was in theater in school. I took theater class, and I think I was in a production of The Hobbit. I was in The Hobbit as a kid.
Oh, of
I was
course you were.
I was one of the
Tom
elves.
Bombadil.
Yeah, Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, I wish I would have been Tom Bombadil. That would have been dope. No, I was one of the guards when Bilbo and the dwarves got captured in the woodland elves area. I was one of the guards for the elves, and that was my step into the
Thank
theater.
goodness the Tom Bombadil podcast name was already taken.
Yeah.
That'd be a dope podcast. I'd listen to that all the time.
Tom Bombadil 74.
It's just exclusively about Tom Bombadil. There's no other discussion happening. Yeah, I'd watch that for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, my own kind of path to nerddom, Star Trek TOS used to air in syndication when I was a kid, and it was on Saturday evenings at like 4 p.m. And Saturdays were a cool day, not because we were just off from school, but because at 7 p.m. was Emergency. If you ever saw that. Oh my goodness, no one ever heard. No one's heard of it.
Wait,
Oh, that was what's that?
Emergency.
Heard what?
Emergency.
I think that was one of the things that people were telling us we needed to do like a retro rewatch on.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's basically it was the first paramedics. Then it was set in California, and before that time, there were no such thing really as paramedics. But as a kid, all the fire engines and stuff, totally cool, you know. And but yeah, Star Trek was on before that, earlier in the day, and it was just cool seeing Captain Kirk and stuff. And then my dad was a press foreman, so he got us a meeting with Spider-Man. When Spider-Man, the comic strip, came to the newspapers, I went and we went to his hotel room to meet Spider-Man. And of course, as a kid, you're thinking, "Oh my God, the real Spider-Man," because Spider-Man was
super sketchy. Like,
well, no.
room.
It was all part of the the hotel part was part of the all the newspaper executives and management got to take their kids to meet Spider-Man for real. And then Spider-Man was going out to a parade, so all the plebs got to see him in the parade, and we got, you know, autographed coloring books and all kinds of stuff. But
you could go, "I met him."
Yeah,
at the parade.
I did, and kids didn't believe me until I brought in the picture. Yeah, I may have gotten a few beatings for claiming to have met Spider-Man, but but that aside, yeah. But that was a disappointing meeting, because you think Spider-Man, and there was a Spider-Man TV show on at the time as well, and you're expecting, okay, he's going to come in on the walls, he's going to walk on the walls, blah blah blah, and he just walks in like a normal person and then just does some weirdo poses, and you're like, wait, that's not Spider-Man. What the heck? and
it's like a beer gut.
Well, he didn't have a beer gut. He was just some, you know, he was probably just some college kid, you know, because you know, we were in a college town, so it was probably just some college kid that they hired to, you know, put on the Spider-Man costume. But so in some ways it was cool because I could brag to my friends, but on the other side it was like, yeah. But that was a gateway into comics for me. And then it was when we saw Star Wars that it was in the theaters that I got cemented into the nerddom. Mainly because my dad, when the first commercials came on, my dad was like, "I want to see that movie," and that made my ears perk up because my mom and dad do not go to movie theaters. They just do not go see movies in the theater. And so if my dad was saying, "I want to watch this movie," that meant something. But we didn't see it until it had been out in theaters for a year, and the local theater was doing one of these, okay, we're going to end the run of Star Wars, so you got your last chance, and we're going to do discount tickets. And the whole time we went there, my dad denied that we were going to go see Star Wars. I was like, we go to the shopping center, and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to go shopping for my mom to do the fabric store that she liked. And all the time my dad just kept denying, "Nope, we're not going to see Star Wars. Nope, we're not going to see Star Wars." Even when we walked in the theater doors, and my brothers and I are like looking at each other going, "Oh my God, we're going to see Star Wars." My dad's like, "Nope, there are other movies here, you know."
I once, for the 20th anniversary of Jurassic Park, my dad was working in like Northern California somewhere, and I was in Vegas, and we were like, "Well, we should meet up to go to the 20th anniversary." And he's like, "It's a 6-hour drive." I'm like, "What if we go halfway?" So we met in some random town in the middle of California that was like 3 hours from him and 3 hours from me. And we met to go see the 20th anniversary. And then another movie that we have a really good relationship with is The Last Crusade. Because the father-son relationship between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, it feels very similar to how my father and I kind of get along. He's like, he's very straight-laced, he's very organized, very this. And I'm kind of...
Both have the same girlfriend.
I'm like, what? He always laughs at that point.
She talks in her sleep.
It's disgraceful. I'm assuming I'm the next man. I was the next man. He always laughs at that point.
I think that's so cringy.
But like, we have a fun relationship with that movie as well as father and son. Like, we just like the dynamic of the two. He's, you know, the straight lace versus the wild card. It's a lot of fun. So like that movie brings us together. Jurassic Park brings us together, and we will do anything we can to kind of like jump some hurdles to watch a movie together like that. Really cool.
You know what's funny is, so like Astro talked about Star Trek, and Alex mentioned a little while ago about how, like, you know, his kids now, like, they're streaming, so like they can just like scroll through a bunch of stuff. I remember like when I was in school, I'd get off of school, I'd come home, and for whatever reason, Star Trek The Next Generation was just on right after school. And so it was the only thing to like watch. And so like that's how I got into Star Trek, was just watching the reruns, because they aired like right after I got off of school. And it's kind of interesting to think about, like, this generation of kids doesn't have that. It's like on demand stuff. it used to be like we were exposed to things that like we didn't even know existed and like became fans of them. And nowadays it's almost like the kids need to like either discover them on their own or like be like told like what to watch.
Yeah.
If they want to be exposed to new things.
Well, yeah, because we didn't have the amount of information that is currently available now. So like when we were growing up and when we were watching movies and TV, you got what you got, and you either became a fan of it or you went outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's a huge thing for kids that are my kids' age, is like there is no time slot.
Yeah.
Like when I was coming home from school or whatever, or if it was like late at night after dinner or whatever, like this is what you have. You have Star Trek. You know, for me, it was Star Trek Voyager, very similar to TNG. It was like Star Trek Voyager came on right at the end of dinner. My dad and I would sit and watch it. My mom would hate it because she hates Janeway.
I'm right there with her.
Like that's what we watched, and that's how I became a fan of the show. Otherwise, I never would have known.
If you missed 1 week of your favorite show as it was airing, you're fucked.
There's no going back.
And for like 10 years until like the video store became a thing.
And when they did like the to be continued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching Star Trek: The Next Generation when it was first aired.
Yeah, likewise.
You know, when Riker said fire.
Oh, at the end of
at the end, and I had to wait months.
Yep.
I had to wait months to see what happened.
I never knew that.
You know, it was just like
I watched part 1 and part 2. I don't know how. It was probably like it was playing on reruns, and they just
be
did
a
them both.
Hardcore Star Trek fan.
Yeah,
and that's what you. That's your
I can't even
blockbuster.
imagine, dude. I can't even imagine. That would drive me insane.
Mr. Worf, fire! What? Like son of a bitch. Like,
I have to go through the whole summer not knowing what
I know.
happened.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Well, we'd go to bookstores and go to the magazine rack and look at all the sci-fi magazines and the Star Trek magazine for any clue.
Yep.
Oh wow, here's a picture for the next season. Excuse me, the next season. Yeah, it was a different time for sure.
Yeah, my kids. You know, it's also weird too. Is like these days, my kids are super into like the play along gaming things, where like there's a talking head person, whoever it might be, playing Minecraft. I'm like they're glued to the screen.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, he's playing Minecraft. I'm like, you want to watch me play Minecraft? I'll play Minecraft with you.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're boring.
It's not the same thing.
Our kid watches the weird, like there are these YouTubers that basically make like their own little TV shows out of like Minecraft, where like they'll do voices for different characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And our kid's so into it, and he tries explaining it to me. I'm just like, I don't get it.
It's like when I back in the day in Red versus Blue with Rooster Teeth. I remember being super into that show, and I guarantee you, if I explained that to my parents, like, "Oh, these guys play this game, but they film it like a TV show and they do voices," my parents would be like, "Just why don't you just play the game?
Just go outside."
The thing is that Red versus Blue, like you could actually follow the storyline for that. These Minecraft stories are so like
nonsensical,
nonsensical. Like I can barely make out what's happening,
and it's
but even so, like I don't know, like if it was the same with you, Vader, but growing up. You know, like we had like the Atari and the Nintendo and stuff like that. And we would go over to our neighborhood friends' houses, go to their basement and just play video and like watch other kids play video games. You know, like that was like the thing. That
I remember doing that as a kid too, and I thought that was the most boring shit. I was like, let's go do something, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this.
When I was that young, when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, this is in the 70s. Okay. I had the friend, I had that one friend who had the swimming pool, and he had the old Atari, the black controller with the one red button, the 2600. We played Knight Rider and combat shit. But and that helped shape the fledgling nerd in me. And was also, and Astro could probably relate to this, we're that generation that grew up Saturday mornings. We would get up 7:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning every Saturday morning because we had that 4-hour block of cartoons. There was no Cartoon Network back then. That was if you wanted to watch cool ass 30-minute long toy commercials, that's when you did it. It was Scooby Doo and Laugh Olympics and
then after that 4 hours was wrestling.
Yeah, or wrestling or Wild World of Sports or some shit your dad wanted to watch, but
American Gladiators.
Yeah. That was very defining for all of us back then, because that's when we got our kid shows.
Yeah.
It was Saturday mornings. The rest of or after school. There was like a 2-hour block after school that was filled with Tom and Jerry and Gilligan's Island. that kind of stuff.
I relate. I can understand where my kids are coming from, because I like, there's some games where I'll watch like a tutorial. If I'm having a hard time with something, I'll Google it. I'll find some freaking guru who knows how to play the game. I'm like, oh, that's how you beat that level. Okay, I get it. But like Hater said, like these storylines and these TV shows that they're making out of this game is like nonsensical. And also, it's just disclosure for my I don't let my kids watch YouTube unattended, because like these guys that make these videos sometimes are a little freaking weird, and I don't like the messaging.
You have to pay attention.
To pay very close attention. So I do not recommend parents let their kids do that stuff unsupervised. But when I was a kid growing up playing video games, I remember like if I was playing a game that I just could not beat for whatever reason, I played a lot of like Tomb Raider and stuff like that, which is a lot of puzzles and stuff. I had to go and get like the manual. You guys remember the manuals that you would pick up for the game? I love those things, dude. I'd go to the store, I would save up my money and go buy the $10 Tomb Raider Revelation, manual, and bring it home and like read how to beat the level step by step.
I mean, not only were there the thick ass 200-page manuals, but then you could go to the bookstore and buy the tome of knowledge, that was like,
strategy guide.
Yeah, on top of that stuff, so I remember playing World of Warcraft. 2005, you could go do that stuff for each race.
I also missed the games that came with maps.
Yeah.
I think, I mean,
I love that stuff.
These days, I think all of that stuff's online, and it's produced by people like us. Because I mean, we laugh about it, but we're starting a video game channel soon.
I talked to a friend at work this week. Told him I'm going to be playing Diablo 4. So how much do those discs cost? And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about discs? And I'm like, no, bro,
it's all downloaded.
It's like $100 and it's all digital. It's bullshit. Yeah. And you don't get none of that stuff.
You don't get no manuals.
I want a thick ass binder,
dude,
full of maps and character profiles and stuff. But no, you don't get none of that stuff.
I did a startup. What's the website that you do startup campaigns for? It's not
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Yeah, I did a Kickstarter for this dinosaur game called Death Grounds or something like that. It's basically a survivor horror game with dinosaurs, but it was very, very early development, and I pitched in like $150 for this game because it came with a strategy guide, a little figurine, and like a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. But that was like 2 years ago, and I'm still getting emails from them like, we're still updating things. I'm like, are you ever going to come out with this game?
Stuff takes time.
I'm like, come on, man. I'm dying for it.
When you get it, it's going to be bad.
I'm going to be so freaking excited, dude. I cannot wait for it, but it's been a long time.
I'm still waiting on Star Citizen.
Oh, that's still in development.
Never going to happen.
But like they've raised like an insane amount of money over like the course of like the decade that they've been like raising this thing. Yeah. And it's never coming out.
I'm pretty sure this Death Battleground whatever game is probably going to be stuck in developmental hell. Like it's because it's just guys doing it in their spare time on the weekends. And I'm like,
also like when we were coming up, games were actually finished before they were like released and sold.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, it's like you don't even have to finish the game. You're basically selling a beta copy.
Yep.
It's a bummer. I feel like things have. Yeah, I got a super chat. I'll read it from Whiskey Jack. £5. Amazon Prime generation. Amazon Prime generation. Attention, patience, worth, ethic. Equals 0. There was no save button back in the day. You couldn't pick up the answer on YouTube.
It's true.
100%. Yeah. You had to redo that checkpoint 1,000 times until you beat it, or you just don't progress. That was it.
It wasn't even a checkpoint. It was just a level.
Yeah. I was raised in the days of checkpoints and save. You remember the little cards?
You're a soft bitch.
I am a soft bitch. I had to buy the SD cards that like were in the slots on the side of the PS1s or on the side of the GameCubes or Nintendo 64s, like the little discs, not discs, but like the floppy disks that you had to save the game on. I was born when I had a net that I could fall back on if I couldn't get past something. I had to save it, but
that's all right.
That is what it is. What else you got for us, Astro? Take it away.
All right. So let's go do the next topic. This is actually one that has been on my mind for a while. Now, when it comes to my own channel, I just do this for fun. My main channel was done just to dump stuff. Back in the day, I was putting up music back in the wild west of YouTube. And it was so I could have stuff to listen to at work. And the songs I uploaded were stuff that wasn't already on YouTube. And then the last item I put up like that was, in fact, it's going viral now again, is a Japanese commercial that I saved from some random blog. And that was kind of my idea. And then for fun, I just started doing YouTube videos for gaming. But YouTube has told me they will not monetize my channel. And Mobile Gamer came out and was gracious enough to check that out, because YouTube will not tell you when you make a mistake. They'll just say you screwed up, fix it. It's like, well, how's that helpful? That doesn't help me. Jeez. But like I said, Mobile Gamer was very gracious when I bitched about it on Twitter, and he came out and he said it's probably that Japanese commercial, and that Japanese commercial has 5.1 million views right now.
Nice,
just because it was just unique.
Yeah.
It's such a unique commercial. If you go out and you guys can go out and check it out on my regular Astro Nerdboy channel, but it's just a very unique commercial, and the Japanese keep finding it every couple of years, and then it goes viral like crazy. But I created my second YouTube channel, which is the one I'm with you on today, the Rambles, and it was just basically for fun and just to see, okay, well, how can I grow organically without some, Japanese commercial getting me 500 subs in a week? And so I started looking at other people who have been struggling to make it in YouTube. And so, yeah,
that's us.
Well, yeah. So, but the thing is like, why would you go through that struggle? Why start the channel at all?
Go ahead.
I was just saying it's a nice outlet for us.
Yeah, like it's like we started out just hanging out at a coffee shop, talking about movies. And I had a podcast. It's the Salty Nerd podcast. It was one of the very, very early iterations of what I was doing, and I did it. I didn't do it for numbers. I was like, oh, maybe somebody else like me will hear it and think it's cool. And I did like deep dives into movies and stuff like that. I did this series that I'm really proud of, and I don't care how much shit you give me for it. I really like this series, and I want to bring it back when I have more time on my hands. But it's what influenced the people that influenced me. So like it's taking 2 steps back and looking at what kind of movies influenced Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and learning the roots of some of my favorite movies like Indiana Jones and Star Wars. And like a lot of the Indiana Jones stuff came from the old what's that director Ford? What's it? John Ford? Is it John Ford? Yeah, John Ford, the guy with the eye patch that was like a mentor to Spielberg. A lot of his movies influenced Indiana Jones. A lot of like stuff like Zorro influenced it. That whole getting dragged behind the truck was taken directly from an old Zorro, a black and white Zorro movie where Zorro gets dragged behind a carriage and he's like using his whip to climb up it and he fights a bunch of people. That's all taken almost scene for scene from an old Zorro movie, which I thought was fascinating. And I just wanted to learn more about the movies that I loved. And I think it was like Secrets of the Incas with Charlton Heston was a big influence. Like Charlton Heston in that movie almost looks like Indiana Jones. He has a leather jacket, leather bomber jacket with the fedora. He's Indiana Jones before there was an Indiana Jones. So my original idea for this podcast was just like to educate myself, and things that I find out, I figured other people might want to know too. So that's kind of how it started. And I didn't do it for.
I remember the day where like, you were coming in and you were kind of complaining about the guy that you were doing the podcast with never having time to actually do it. And me and Vader just kind of looked at each other and we were like, well, why don't you just do it with us? We're here. And you there was like a light bulb went off over your head. Like, I never really thought about that.
That could be
and then
cool.
like we started going over to your house once a week, and you had like these $30 Amazon microphones, and we'd sit there at a fold out table in your living room and do the podcast. And it was just like you, me, and Vader at the time.
Yeah, I like this. Mr. Trickle Trunk, member of the channel, also big super chatter, and Patreon. He says podcasting is group therapy. You can monetize. You're absolutely right.
But in those early stages, it was just like, like we would sit there, we would, you would record us on your laptop and then like you go and edit it. And it was just like something that we did for fun. And then when the lockdown happened, I went to you guys. I was like, what if we tried doing the podcast thing like for real?
Yeah.
And we set up the home studio, and we were audio only for like the first year.
Yeah.
And we were kind of putting stuff on YouTube, but it was like audiogram stuff where we would take the audio and we would put like pictures or like clips from the movies and do it and stuff like that. But nobody wanted to watch that shit. And so like we kept trying to figure out, okay, like how can we get video for our podcast without spending like tens of thousands of dollars on stuff? Because it wasn't like if you're like a solo YouTuber where it's just like you can spend like $1,000 and have like all the equipment you need. But we were doing like a 4-person talk show. essentially. And in addition to that, we were still doing the audio end of things. So we needed to sound good. We needed to look good. And it's kind of funny because like if you sign up for our YouTube membership, like we have like our very first video test.
They're so
on
bad.
there. Yeah. But like the audio is terrible, the video is terrible. But we basically came up with this like janky home studio setup where we used pay-as-you-go cell phones, so like cell phones that you didn't need to sign contracts for.
Duct tape and bubble gum.
Yep.
And we figured out a way to like feed those cell phones into a video switcher. And basically we just started recording ourselves as we did the podcast and put those up on YouTube. And one of the things we learned about YouTube is that, you know, you need video. You need actual people on your screen for people to watch. Otherwise, nobody's going to care. Like we have a lot of older stuff on our channel where you can see it's just like a static image with like our podcast playing behind it. And nobody wants to watch those because they're boring.
Yeah.
You know, but like all of a sudden you put a face on the screen and people start watching because they
start
they
inserting
like the
some
people.
clips and stuff.
Yeah. But as far as like wanting to do the grind, like I never wanted to worry about views or anything like that. I still don't. It's not my thing. That's Kadish's bag. Like he's the marketing guy. He's got a headspace for that kind of stuff. I just want to have fun with my friends, and hopefully that fun will translate to people who want to watch. Like it's similar to how I take in podcasts. Like I take podcasts in to either one, educate myself or entertain myself. And if you can get a mix of the both, that's even better. I try not to stress too much about like what our numbers are, because I feel like you can get wrapped up in your own head with that kind of stuff, and it can become a really bad negative feedback loop. Like, oh, I'm not getting enough views. My freaking show sucks. Like you can't think like that. Have fun, produce your content, do it as best as you possibly can, make it as polished as you possibly can, and hope for the best. Get word of mouth. A lot of like a big thing for a lot of people who are super successful is to guest on other people's shows, which is something that we've been doing lately with our live streams, is like incorporate our views on other people's shows so that they get to know who we are, and then they come over to our show. That's a big part of growing a show these days, is like just kind of like hanging out with the right people and talking with people that have bigger channels than you, so that you can kind of get some feedback and just be known in the sphere that you're trying to grow up in. But it's not easy. I wouldn't say that it's a lot of people are out there who are overnight successes, and that's great, good for them, but that's not the norm. That's
the exception.
Yeah.
Well, see, now it's interesting that you mentioned the like view counts and stuff, because one of the things, like I said, I'm doing this for fun, so it doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on my rambling channel, let's go back to my main channel, and that Japanese commercial. It's a 2-minute 30-second commercial. The view time right now, even with all the 5.1 million hits, is 49%.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm looking at this thinking, because I don't pay attention, but I looked at it the other day and I think, wait, 49%? This is an awesome video. I didn't make it, but 49%? People are just checking out. And you see, it's just a slow, steady downward. Now, when I make my own content, because I think I sound like a mewling idiot when I talk. And but you know, I do have like a review video that I did for an anime episode that's, you know, it's up to 2.4 thousand views for a channel that's got 128 subs. You know, view count, that's not bad, I don't think, for the sub count. But when you go and look at how much people are watching of this 18-minute video, it's like, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah. And I'm going, my goodness, if I was doing this for real, I would be depressed as heck.
Yeah, when me and Kadish will kind of like scroll over our demographics and our you know, behind the scenes numbers for the show and stuff like that, like the retention rate's huge. Like every video that you watch, I'm like, how to grow a successful YouTube channel. Like it's all about retention rate. Like you got to have the first minute's got to be poppy, and it's got to be like a TikTok video.
If you want a successful YouTube channel, you make a channel about how to be successful on YouTube,
and then you
just say a bunch of bullshit.
You game people into thinking you know what you're talking about,
and you become a hot girl.
Yes,
it's true.
No, there's definitely ways. If you just want to sell your soul to the devil and make a successful YouTube channel, talk about politics, be super negative, make a bunch of poppy thumbnails, and have a video every single day, and eventually, or 4. Eventually, you'll get those numbers.
Which we do
sometimes, but like it's not YouTube does not like the long form contents. Maybe it might change because they're investing a lot in podcasts, so that might there might be a change in that soon.
Well,
but we'll see.
I tell everyone that we talk to about this stuff, like YouTube is a very different beast than podcasting.
Mhm.
Like in order to succeed on the audio only podcasting end, you have to treat it very differently than how you treat YouTube. And to do both at the same time is very challenging. There are people who are really good at one, but really suck at the other. And there's a few that are really good at both. And so like the strategies that grow you on YouTube don't necessarily do well on podcasting and vice versa. So we've been trying to like find a balance, and we haven't quite dialed in on that yet. We've kind of shifted our focus more towards YouTube just because we like doing the video stuff. We're reviewing movies, so doing like contextual like editing and stuff like that kind of adds something to it. But YouTube is very finicky, especially like if you're not strategic about it. Like there are ways in which you can target niches and stuff like that, but the tact we've always taken was like, there are certain people out there that we want as part of our community, and we want to make content to attract those people to us. And YouTube doesn't always reward that type of mentality. Like, Astro, you're a perfect example. You found us through, trying to remember.
Geeks and Gamers?
Alec, no. Well, Alec, it was Alec Baldwin, not Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Yeah, Adam Baldwin. Yeah, Adam Baldwin posted on Twitter. I'd heard of you from Geeks and Gamers, or not Geeks and Gamers, actually. It was probably Friday Night Tights. It was probably Nerdronic. And go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's funny because like we know Mobile Gamer personally. Like we just hung out with him at a barbecue the other day.
I went to trivia with his wife.
Yeah, Cat's great. But you found us through the Adam Baldwin interview that we did, and you became a part of our like Salty Saturday like community and stuff like that. And that's how like we like to approach things, is like we just like to attract the people that enjoy the type of stuff that we do. And YouTube, it's like, well, they don't know the type of people that we want to attract, and so like they'll show our stuff to like a segment, and that segment doesn't respond well to it, and so like they just kill our reach like right away. Like some of the best stuff that we do is like our TV reviews. Like we're doing Warrior, we're like we did Invasion and like Halo and like a bunch of stuff. And YouTube just doesn't show like we're not getting the type of numbers on that stuff that we should be getting, because those episodes are really funny. But for whatever reason, YouTube just doesn't reward that type of content.
Our C episodes, that's our best stuff.
It's our best stuff.
And it's also how we met some of the coolest people that we know in the industry. Like we became friends with some of these people, and it's like YouTube. I don't like the YouTube system. I try my best to utilize it to help us make money and do stuff, but it does not reward the type of content that we put out.
To me, it's really frustrating when we have an interview with somebody like David Hewlett, who's one of the stars of one of the biggest nerd shows to ever be on TV, and we get him for 2 hours, and the view gets 350 views over 6 months' time. It's insane.
He's a delightful
and
guy.
he's an awesome dude.
He's super cool.
And there's that video should have 60,000 views, in my opinion, because just on his name alone, it's just
to that point, like we might not be getting like the hundreds of thousands of views. I mean, we do on the shows I make, but
you're the shows you make are fucking lucky bullshit. The algorithm.
But we can create like this this like small community of like really hardcore people, like the people that we get on.
Oh, there's the back of G's head.
But I think that the key to success on whatever platform, whether it be YouTube or podcasting, is the community building. Like Alex has been really good about building up our Discord and about having like interactions with the community and pulling it like on our live streams, like interacting with the chat. Like we have like so many great, like Whiskey Jack, Anthony Mark, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Yeah, these are all Discord members. I love Discord for building the community, and that's what I like to do. Like our content's fun. I like making our content. I know Cage probably is like, God damn it, you should worry about this more, but I don't worry about what our views are. I'm just like, I'm gonna put my content out there, and whatever happens, happens. But the important thing is the people that do find us, when they get close to us, when they actually interact with us, and that's an important thing for me, is like, as somebody who's a fan of other podcasts, you can reach out all day long to some of these people, and they're never going to call you. They're never going to talk to you. They're never going to do anything. They'll just be like, "Oh, thanks for being a fan."
Yeah, I mean, the point I was trying to make is that like we're more like we put a heavier emphasis on the community that we're building as opposed to like the views that we get. So even though like there are people out there with more subs and more views, we're really proud of our community. Like we're really proud. Like we try to respond to every like YouTube comment we have. We try to interact with the chat. We try to reach out to like our fans and like communicate with them and let them know that like we hear them and we appreciate them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to us, like that's the more important thing. And YouTube helps us find these people along with like social media and stuff like that and bring them into our sphere.
Yeah. And I gotta, speaking of communicating with the community, Destiny Captain for $199. What's up? Vader, born in 70, play football too. I think that's answers to.
He's freaking me out a little bit.
Why is that?
I think he's fishing. Trying to dox me or something.
Oh, is he trying to find out who you are?
Yes, born
he's
in
Googling
70.
your name.
Born in 70. I did play football for a few years.
Okay.
Well, I think he's meaning that little handheld console. It was called Football 2. It was
you think that's a video game reference?
The up, down, up,
Yeah,
side,
yes,
side,
yes.
down, up.
It was
I played that one. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I played that so much. My mom thought I got hives from playing it.
Little red lights inside there.
Yep. Oh, that was awesome. It was simplistic but awesome.
Yeah, but my favorite part about making our content is getting to know the people who like our content and like hanging out with them in Discord and doing watch parties, stuff like that. That's what I enjoy the most.
I just had a conversation today with our Orkin man who like comes in and like sprays our house once a month to get rid of all the creepy crawlies. And before he left, he turned to me today and he was like, "Hey, you guys doing Jean-Claude Van Damme again?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, we got our first Jean-Claude Van Damme episode coming out on Friday." He's like, "Oh, I can't wait."
Unfortunately, we did this year.
Oh God, this one was rough. This was rough this year. We got to pick a better year.
I think sometimes those make the most fun for other people shows, because like I listen to podcasts too, and I listen to a lot of movie podcasts, and there's so many times where I'm like, oh, I don't like that movie, I'm not going to listen to it, but then I run out of shows, so I'm like, okay, I'll listen to that one, and they turn out to be the funniest shows, and every single time I'm like, I don't wanna, and then I'm like, oh, I should have listened to this a million years ago. And I think that's just kind of across the board. We're the same way. We watch terrible things, we have a miserable time doing it, but we have so much fun talking about it, and I think it makes it fun for other people.
I like to share my misery with our
you like to spread it around the table for sure.
We also do watch parties. A lot of people might not know that, but like we invite our Discord members to come and like watch some of this stuff with us and interact and chat as we're watching it. It's a lot of fun.
The community is the most important thing for me, and that's kind of what I wanted to start with at the beginning of all this. Like I want to collect like-minded people.
I want some new friends.
I want friends because I'm a nerd and I don't have any friends. Speaking of which, Fluffy Panda for $5. Thank you, Fluffy Panda, longtime fan of the show. You're welcome. I'm awesome. Yes, you are. Even though you guys hate John Wick 4, The Goonies, and Princess Bride, somebody at this table hates at least one of those movies.
I'm Princess Bride.
I'm the Goonies.
I thought we all loved Princess Bride.
Well, we all hated John Wick 4.
Yeah, all of us hated John Wick 4.
I think Princess Bride's a pile of crap.
You're insane. The movie's a classic.
Yeah, I like it.
And a $20 from No Money G. What's up, bro? Member of the YouTube.
Member of the what?
I was gonna say member of the content, but that's dumb because I'm
member of the continent.
Yeah, whatever.
I thought you were going with some other C word.
I found you guys through the Picard season 3 hype and making Kadish rent the theater. Started watching everyone who disliked New Trek like me and loved Picard season 3. Picard season 3 was dope.
So a funny story about No Money G. So we tried to do the it was going to be called the 10 Forward Fest. It was the Popcast guys and us teamed up, and we were going to basically marathon the entire first season or the entire third season of Star Trek Picard at a movie theater.
Yep.
And then once we started selling tickets to it, I think we sold like 10 or 11 tickets.
Well, we had some pretty important people locked into that.
Yeah. Like we had a all-star guest lineup to come and watch this marathon. And then like Paramount started, or CBS or someone started threatening
legal action.
Not only legal action, but they started threatening the people that we had announced were going to be there.
How insane is that?
And so like we had to cancel it. But I felt so bad because like, especially like No Money G, he was like, man, I already booked my flights and hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, well, we have to
do something.
Yeah,
we have to
do
deliver
something for these guys. So like we decided to go forward with it anyway and paid for it out of pocket, and ended up getting Robert Meyer Burnett and his movie Free Enterprise to screen and stuff like that. It actually turned out really well. But man, it was a headache.
Yeah, I just like for a channel as small as ours to be able to put something on like that. Of course, we're riding the coattails of Nerdrotic because it's the same weekend, so we're like we were getting some extra people there. But the fact that a channel our size was able to put something together like that was awesome.
We got to screen
Chris Gore's
movie before anybody else had even really got a chance to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was
the only other screening they'd had before that. I think was the premiere.
Yeah. So I got to hang out with Chris Gore in the freaking hallways of a theater. Cool super awesome, and that's what I mean. Like,
we want to make it like an annual thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do something more and have some awesome.
Didn't Vader want us to screen Double Team next year?
Oh, I just want to do a Salty Nerd Film Festival. Where we can have play like 4 really shitty movies.
Deathstalker 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But that, I mean, again, that's the important thing for me. I don't like right now we have 48 fantastic people in the chat. Like, of course, there's other channels out there that have 48,000 people watching.
48 people would fill up that theater.
If 48 people came in here to listen to us talk, I'd be like, holy shit, we're super successful. Like, look, it is what it is. Whatever, don't worry about it.
You guys gotta go because this is not big enough for 49 people.
So anyway, that's the most important thing for me is to have a great community and to make content that people enjoy.
But, I mean, like we got to meet No Money G. He's like super cool guy. And, it was great to be able to actually meet some of these people who came out for this thing and welcome them into the community. And now he's like an active member of the Discord, I think, and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Well, now you guys are planning on, because you mentioned this earlier, expanding out into the gaming world. And that one, I've got friends who are doing that like on Twitch and on YouTube and stuff. And I think that is a tougher market to get into. However, because you've already got kind of a base with the Salty Nerd podcast and this channel, so you've already got loyal fans, not just try to suck up to you, but I like you guys' content. So when you guys go and do a gaming channel, just like I do with other, I know we've never met in person, so we're not friends in that regard, but I've got like a friend who, he might be streaming some dumb game. I'm like, oh my God, seriously? What is this rubbish? But I'll get on his channel, to give him support and, BS with him in the chat and blah, blah, blah. And, but the whole idea of getting out there and starting a channel, but then it's not just I think a lot of people want to do gaming stuff. At least that's what I kind of see. It may be a limited what I see, but I see a lot of people want to do gaming channels because they look at Dr. Disrespect and they go, oh, wow, he's got 20,000 people watching him play an FPS. Whoa, that's so easy. I can do that. Well, he's been around for a while.
Right.
He's got a brand and, he was an early comer. Someone like Oxhorn. Oxhorn got his start in the early days of YouTube. But I've noticed with someone like him, and I do watch him from time to time, I think he's kind of hit a plateau in terms of growth. And so YouTube is like a very fickle mistress, if you'll pardon the expression.
How dare
you? Well, we're just going to play Minecraft the entire time.
I mean, that would probably be the most successful thing.
I've been pushing to do a gaming channel for a while, and that's because gaming is what I like. That is something I want to focus on. What my vision for a gaming channel is way different than what it's going to actually be. What it's going to end up being is going to be me and Alex streaming some games once in a while. It's going to be Kadish if he wants to log on and show us how to play his weird phone games and stuff, and doing his dailies and everything. And it's just going to be just us it's going to be another outlet for us to interact with people that are in our world. It's like it might even it's there, it exists. I started the channel this week, but it's not that there's no graphics, there's nothing there yet. It's
you should do Dragon Champions.
But there's a chance that it might get a test stream done even maybe as soon as tonight. Depends on what goes on at home. But it's just I think gaming is a natural outlet. It's a natural relative to what we do with our circle. All of our nerds, we all play games.
Our friend, Jay, Drunk 3PO,
yeah, he does.
He was one of the people. He's like, "You guys don't have a gaming channel?" I'm like, "No, not yet. Like, we don't have time to play games."
Yeah, and that's the other problem. It's just time. Yeah, it's just. It is what it is.
I have zero expectations for our gaming channel. It's just us hanging out. If people want to come up and join, like I'm gonna spruce up the thumbnails and make them look cool. I'll probably my idea for I know you're doing something totally different than me, but we're gonna have like two versions of the channel. Not that I don't know how to explain this, but like you're gonna do your thing on the channel, and I'm gonna do my thing on the channel, and we're just gonna.
Well, we're gonna do our live streams where we're gonna be playing Twitch style, and then we're gonna be taking those. We're probably gonna cut some of the funny bits out and make clips out of them, whatever.
Are you gonna play the Harry Potter game?
Maybe
it doesn't. Yeah, that's the thing is I know it has to be a series, just for YouTube's sake. And there's my version of it is like single player only. I think it might be what I name my version of the show is like single player only. I do not play online games. I don't like massive multiplayer games. I don't like FPS, like Black Ops or whatever that stuff. I like single player story driven video games. That's my genre. So I'm going to stick to that genre, and people like that want to watch it. Cool. Great. Awesome. Let's join up and let's have some fun.
We all like to play games, and it's a natural extension of what we do. So we might as well share it sometimes.
I am glad to hear that you're going to, I assume, like you said, take clips and stuff and like post them in a video on YouTube. Because I think, that not only does it help promote your streaming channel, but I think those kind of videos tend to do well.
The only problem is we don't want to like commingle the gaming with
right
because that messes with the
YouTube.
So you're gonna make a new YouTube, a new YouTube channel then?
No,
it's a brand new channel.
It's already there. In fact, you can
you do have one.
Yeah, you can go to Salty Nerd Gaming right now and push follow. I mean, literally I pushed the button last night, 2 nights ago.
Okay, see, I knew about your kicks. I didn't know about the other one.
I hadn't actually announced anything because we were gonna do kick at start, and I feel like I get an STD every time I go over there. It's so gross. It's so gross.
Speaking of STDs, I do think that's a better name where Alex plays with himself instead of single players.
This is great. I love these names you're coming up with. Mr. Turtle Drink. Alex plays with himself. Let's play serious.
But it's a work in progress, and it's gonna be for a while.
I mean, I'm sure Kadish is gonna put his producer hat on and tell us what to do.
I don't want.
I'm not touching the gaming channel.
All right,
I've got too much to do already.
He doesn't. I don't need no. We don't need no Kadish. Just nonsense over there.
We're gonna get zero.
We'll start getting fucking emails every day. And hey guys, I think you might want to try this and yada yada yada.
There's this new game coming out. I think you guys should really focus on it.
Well, you know what'll happen? When I was playing Fate Grand Order, that was when I got my most views, because you talk about doing dailies. You're just going out there and doing the grind, and I'm like, wow, I've got 12 people watching me.
Yeah,
just me doing these grinds. What the heck is going on?
You know what I think we should do is we should find a copy of Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis and stream that.
I have it. I own it on Steam, and I could 100% play that game. It might be the first one. I was gonna do Subnautica, but if there's enough people in the chat that want to see me play a point-and-click adventure Indiana Jones game, why not? Let's go. Sounds like fun. I'll do it 100%. I've been playing that game since I was freaking 12 years old.
We also need to play the Thing video game, because that's the official John Carpenter approved sequel to the movie.
That might not be.
The fun part about Jude likes us to watch really bad movies, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of really bad video games out there.
No, do we play terrible video games?
Some of them might be kind of fun to play, like that terrible Barbarian one that I have.
You have a terrible Barbarian game?
Dude, you got to see this. It's so bad.
Well, it's also painful to watch Vader play it.
Yeah, it's so bad
because he can't figure it out.
It's so bad. It's like got full naked barbarians in it.
Really?
It's great. It's a late night. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, that'd be a great late night video game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a I don't know, work in progress for us. We have no idea what we're going to getting out of this, or we don't know how it's going to be structured. We're just going to kind of
It's going to get 40,000 subs in the first week.
I doubt it. We're going to get barely 50. If there's 49 people in the chat, we're going to half of those.
12 people. I'd be happy with 12 people.
I'd be thrilled with one. Astro Nerdboy is going to show up and I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?"
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. All right, so still on the topic of YouTube, but slightly different. So I know you guys earlier talked about when you were first growing your channel, you were just audio only, no faces. But now your faces are out there, and then you've got this, podcast studio as not only a place for you guys to hook up and do your shows, but also to lease out. However, recently, I mean, the paint hadn't even hardly dried, and you already been robbed.
Yeah.
And then no sooner than you've recovered from that, then you get hit with another vandal attempt. Where they did something with the front door, I believe. Right?
Can I interrupt you real quick? I just want to get the super chat because it has something to do with the video game before we move on. $5 from Paul Fisher. Thank you so much for the gaming channel. So yes, for the gaming channel, so I can watch Vader play Gollum.
Oh, I've heard.
What is that?
So it's the newest Lord of the Rings game that is supposedly so bad that it's embarrassing.
They're so bad. The developers made the game apologized to the public for releasing such a shitty product.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and you play as Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Like you're crawling around rocks and stuff.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
That sounds
It looks
a lot of
Okay.
a lot of people have been playing that, and I've watched some of it. It is, the funny part is watching people just go nuts, like Mauler and Az and
Mauler's
stuff.
been doing a let's play of it.
Oh,
It's pretty
nice.
entertaining.
Okay.
Oh yes, it's very
That's
funny.
interesting. Okay. Anyway, continue. Yeah. We had one successful robbery and one attempted.
Yeah, so
Successful.
Well, I think the second one seemed more like he was throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum.
Yeah, he was
because
we barred our doors.
He was on a fact-finding mission.
Yeah, he was testing out our new security system.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. I can't believe.
So you've actually encountered some of the. I don't know that this person was targeting you personally. It may have been just an opportunity, like, hey, here's a new business. Let me see what we can get away with these schlucks and blah blah blah. But like my own, like for example, the reason I do not have a camera is because I had an internet stalker many years ago.
Sad about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, when they issue you a death threat and you have an FBI case open,
Jesus.
You start thinking about things differently. So like Mobile Gamer has talked about, sometimes he's run into people who know him in place to place, like, oh hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. And I'm guessing maybe you guys have as well. I'm not sure. You may not.
Nobody recognizes us.
That's not true.
But
usually, if we go to nerd events, we'll get recognized. But not like if you go to the grocery store.
If we go to the Nerdrotic meetup, people know who we are.
Yeah.
A few of them,
but that's
it.
That's our sphere, we're kind of part of that community, so it makes sense. But no, nobody gives a crap who I am.
But as you get more successful, though, more and more people start recognizing you, and like if you become 100,000 subscriber channel or more, more and more people are going to recognize you. Do you ever worry, or has that thought ever come into your head about, well, what if some nut job, who disagrees with some stupid viewpoint that I have, comes after you? Has that ever come up or thought? Been a thought process?
I'm gonna toss this to Kadish because he's had more experience with getting attemptedly canceled on Twitter than anybody else here. Like there was a huge backlash when you were talking about that Birds of Prey movie that I was honestly a little worried for you because you were getting messages and I was like, Jesus Christ,
I was getting legit death threats.
Yeah, it was wild. Like it was for me, I was just worried for my friend. I'm like, dude, are you gonna be okay? Like oil on his back, just idiots on Twitter. I was just like
that's not a death threat. That's a death threat.
So, Kadish, you could talk a little bit about getting backlash on social media and dealing with that kind of stuff.
Well, I went to Hollywood to become a famous writer and director. Didn't quite work out. But one of the interesting things about Twitter is I went on there, I used my full real name, used a picture of my face as my avatar. So I was never hiding my identity. And to me, when I was in the novelist sphere, trying to create a brand around my name, essentially, it's just one of those things where it's you just put yourself out there. I remember when I first met Alex, Vader posted a picture of us of our first meeting on Twitter. And Alex is like, "Oh, you just doxed me. You revealed my identity to the world."
Nobody cares.
And And to me, like, yes, the doxing stuff can be bad, especially like when you have bad actors who are like trying to track people down and make their lives miserable, like stalkers and stuff like that. But to me, it's one of those things where it's like, if you are like, if you're trying to be internet famous, if you're out there creating content in a way that is very public, it's just one of those things that you have to either accept or not do. And so for me, I learned very early on that, like, if you give in to bullies, you're not going to have a very good time.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody disagrees with you or argues with you or even threatens your life, you just ignore them. Like, you don't egg them on, you don't engage them, because the thing that they want is to engage. And so, like, I never responded to any death threats. I never called attention to them, really. And because, like, once you do, you give those people what they want. And so it's about being smart with your celebrity. Like, you don't badmouth the fans. You don't make fans feel awkward. You don't engage with the toxic people. You just kind of, say thank you for, caring, and then you move on. And so I think a lot of people just aren't trained in the right way to deal with, like, crazy internet people or, anything like that. Because to me, like, when the whole Birds of Prey thing was happening, I literally just ignored all the toxic people. Eventually they went away and they didn't hang around and like stalk me or anything like that.
They found something else to get upset about not long after.
And it's specifically because, like, I don't feed the trolls. I don't feed the toxicity. Like, when you ignore that stuff, they have nothing to grab onto. And so, like, they get bored and they move on to something that is going to give them that attention that they're seeking. So basically, like, you just have to starve out the toxic people out there, whether it be on social media or like what have you, and not worry about, what could possibly happen. I mean, prepare for it, have like a security system, have like, like a hidden weapon in place.
Have a thick skin too. Like, that's one thing I learned early about Kadish, is that, like, doesn't matter what you say to him, he's going to say, okay. And then that's going to be it. Like, you're not going to get a reaction out. He's not going to lose his temper or anything like that. Like, having a thick skin is super important for online. And for me, I know that's Kadish's side of the story, and it works for him 100%. I take more of like the Joe Rogan approach to it, where I just don't engage at all. I try not to read comments, and if we get like lambasted with a bunch, like our John Wick 4 review.
I wish I was more like you guys.
With our John Wick 4 review, like the first day or two that was out, like, we got a ton of negative comments, and I was just like, I'm not gonna read it. I just don't get. I'm like, whatever, man.
I read
the
comments, and I have to, like, I'm the person that has to, like, I'll take something out.
You do.
Then I'll go,
do.
Vader's always telling us shitty things people say
Look
about
at this
us.
shit comment we got. I'm like, I'm not reading it, dude.
Don't care.
I go the post and ghost. Like, I'll post it, and whatever happens. We have to do. This is an incredible super chat, and I'm gonna try not to get emotional about this right now. Scotty Dub, for $100. I don't care, 1 penny off. $100. I dubbed thee Sir Alex, Lord of the Saltcast. This is in honor of Alex taking the plunge and going full time. Since Astro, Vader, and I are all the same age, it's great hearing about some of the great shows we enjoyed as kids in the 70s. Kadish is my hero. #SJWs. Listen, man, that means more than you could possibly even imagine. I do have a job. I don't want to give a false pretense that I'm like completely full-time YouTuber. I'm not. I do have a job, but it was a huge pay cut for me, going from the one that sucked my life away to what I'm going to be doing now. I'll have a lot more time to spend on like the gaming channel and stuff like that. It was a big risk. It was a big pay cut. I am the only one who works in my family. My wife is a lovely stay-at-home mom that takes care of our kids.
And you keep having kids.
Keep popping them out.
Tighten the knot, bro.
So it's very important now more than ever that we're able to be successful, because this kind of stuff literally is putting food on my table and paying my bills and helping me kind of like get the stepping stone to the next step. So thank you so much for your generosity. That is absolutely incredible. I promise to share it with these guys.
Yeah, and shout out
We're
to
just
Scotty.
gonna buy alcohol with it.
I know. Jude went shopping the other day, and I was like, oh, that's right, Jude went shopping. I sent her enough money to cover the bills, and she's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, keep buying alcohol.
It was funny because I put all my purchases on the counter, and the checkout guy at the liquor store literally said, finally, someone who knows how to drink.
That's when you know you're doing it right.
Speaking of which, we got Backyard TARDIS in the chat.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got to get our
Nick,
graphics.
I emailed you last night.
We got to get our graphics on point for the Tuesday show. Nick is our top supporter for this channel for the Tuesday Saltcast.
Well, he's also our oldest supporter.
And yeah, he's been around from the beginning. So Astro, if you want to get some deep cut background information on us, you can talk to, to
Nick knows
here.
where all the bodies are buried.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he makes sure everybody who signs up for our Patreon gets to know too. That's the first thing he says whenever I'm like, "Hey, everybody, welcome the newest club member." He's like, "Check it out. This is where you go."
He's like, he's all like, it's like if you're not quite sure you want to hang out with these guys, you got to go read this story first before you. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Let me read his comment real quick. What's up, Nick? How you doing? Have you guys seen what Stuttering Craig from Side Scrollers has been doing with his gaming streams? Donation amounts for playing with oven mitts, beer goggles, and hard reset of the game. Oh man.
And he's doing little retro stuff. He's playing Mario and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, if you want to do some board games, I can be a member of the channel.
Can we play Katana? Would people watch us on the Fat Cam play a game of not Katana? What's it called? Settlers of Catan.
Settlers of, we would have to set up like
I've never played it.
Thing.
You've never played Settlers of Catan?
Somebody would.
I haven't. I've never
It's
played it.
ruthless. It's
People
like
would definitely
Monopoly
watch
on
that.
steroids.
Okay.
Would you play with us?
I don't know.
Maybe we should start a Salty Nerd board game.
Board game night
With
with,
the
with an
camera
overhead
up
cam.
here.
Yeah,
But spelled
would
like
watch
I'm
that.
bored.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about
We could
YouTube.
play Game of Thrones Risk.
Here's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing about YouTube, and this is everybody probably knows this already. But if you can think of it, there's an audience for it.
For sure.
You just have to find them.
You have to market it properly.
Absolutely.
And that's where
So-
Kadish comes in because he's
Right.
constantly thinking about how to market things. What's up?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Remember how we were talking about names for shows earlier?
Uh-huh.
Play shit, get lit.
Ooh, drunk settlers of Catan. Oh, drunk board games. Play shit, get lit.
Oh boy.
We're gonna be so busy, dude.
That's ours. I'm trademarking it.
We're all going to be alcoholics.
It's gonna have to be on Tuesday.
Sorry.
Functioning alcoholics. This is part of work.
None of us are gonna be able to have jobs because we're all gonna be drunk all the
I
time.
rolled doubles. I get to go again.
No, but like that's something that would be fun. Like even I would watch a game like that. If I like the people that I was watching, if I'm a content, if I'm watching how do I say this? If I'm watching a channel that I'm already a fan of and I like the people who make the content, if they did something like that, I'd be like, heck yeah, that sounds like a blast.
Honestly,
How many different
there's probably a whole category
Board
dedicated
game?
to board games on
Yeah,
Twitch
but they're
right now.
not like
Yeah,
us.
how many
I
different
bet you-
red
I bet
letter
you they're
media
exactly like
shows do we
that.
watch?
What's that?
How many different red letter media shows do we watch? And they
Oh, I
do
know.
different shit all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Black Tape Chunka.
Plinko.
That would be fun. I think you just might have
Alex
created.
plays with himself and others is the name of the.
Yeah. That would actually be a fun game though. Like just to have like the whole table here set up in the board game.
Board game bukkake.
Yeah, that would be a blast. Just have a fat cam and an overhead cam, and that's it. That would be so fun. I would do that. Hey, if you're out there and you want to create that channel, you can rent this space for your use. Go to
Yeah, we'll clear our booze tree out of the
we'll
way.
move the
Yeah.
booze, and you guys can create a show.
When we got robbed,
Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
is the booze okay?
That was the first question you
What
asked.
is wrong with us?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong with us. You want more of that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm gonna switch to coffee for a minute.
Oof.
That's
What?
an anxiety
Listen,
attack.
The Rock makes good tasting tequila, but I haven't even caught a buzz. It's kind of pissing me off.
So it's weak tequila.
Is it weak tequila?
It's a
Is that
little
why
bit
he
weak.
drinks it out of the bottle all the time for his his promotions?
He takes all the strength out of other things and puts it in his muscles.
It's
Muscle.
40%, bro. It's 40%. I think you're just a little.
Dude, I just no, I'm not. I'm absolutely not.
Maybe.
Let me see if this cough
He's
drops.
gonna stand up and immediately fall down.
The
I
door
hope
night
so.
for $5. I love you guys. I'm going through a lot right now, and I'm listening to you guys. Helps me get through the rough days. Thanks for being a friend. Hey man,
That's
Danny, I
awesome.
hope you're doing better, buddy. Thank you for the $5. I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
We're just gonna spend it on booze.
Yeah, we might just spend it on alcohol, but that's okay. All right, Astro, what else you got for us? Man?
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Since Danny gave us a super chat, we have to
We
acknowledge
acknowledge
the
the
dork
dork
night.
There it is. There it is.
There you go.
I need a stress ball.
Thanks.
It's just,
Twister.
can I get a
bukkake.
stress ball in the shape of Danny's
Would
head?
people-
Give him some fucks.
Oh yeah.
Well, you
Who,
should make
Danny?
that.
Yeah.
You should make
No,
a stress
Vader.
ball
Oh.
as merchandise. with
You
your
see
logo on it.
Danny's stupid avatar. I want a stress ball that looks
Here.
like that. That's what I want.
Here, bud.
I don't
This
want
is
your
for
fuck.
Alex just gave Vader a fuck.
There you go.
Put it back
buddy.
in your jar.
You're gonna give me a butt? Okay.
That's how much I like your fuck. All right.
You
That
guys
is so
have
wrong.
been dying to do that
That
for
is so
years.
wrong.
Wait, Ron White has a tequila? Did you guys try Ron White's tequila? No. That sounds amazing.
Put some hair on your chest.
All right, what else you got for us, Astro?
So to kind of wrap up the YouTube part, I mean, you guys obviously have stuff that you watch. I'm assuming, do you watch a lot of the same kind of genre stuff that you produce to see what other people are doing, or what is the most kind of unique YouTube stuff that you watch?
Okay, so this is I don't know, maybe I shouldn't reveal this or not, but
What?
since I started this channel with you guys, and specifically when Kadish was like, hey, we should take this seriously, and we started taking it seriously, I've literally stopped watching other YouTubers. Like I've almost cut it down to like 0. I think I might watch a Jeremy Johns video once in a while if it's a movie that we're not talking about on the podcast. The reason being, one, I'm too busy creating and editing and doing that stuff for my own content.
Well, you've also been working 16-hour days for the last
yeah, I've been
couple
working
years.
a lot.
Mhm.
And the other thing is I don't want to I don't want to mirror other people's opinions on things consciously or subconsciously. Like I might go watch a review of a movie and then we talk about it on the show, and then I find myself aligning a little bit too closely with the person that I just watched the review of. I don't ever want to do that.
Yeah.
If anybody ever comes to me and says, oh, you're just like this person, you're just mimicking them, that's never the truth, because I don't watch anybody else's content. Unless it's like very specific, or if it doesn't have anything to do with my genre with movie reviews and stuff like that. I do a lot of tutorials, DIY stuff for like working on my house and stuff like that, but never anything in the movie sphere. I don't have time, and I don't want to inject other people's opinions into my own self. And that's
Well, it's just like, it's the same thing that, authors and script writers won't read unsolicited stuff that gets handed to them, right, Matt? Because they don't want to like get accused of plagiarism or being influenced or whatever. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Like if somebody sends me a video and they're like, oh, check this video, it's really cool, I just made it the other way, like I'll check it out. Like if somebody sends me a link to something, I'm like, oh, I'll watch it. But I don't, on my free time, I don't watch movie related content really at all, unless it's Jeremy Johns.
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of podcasts. So you guys know I'm a nerd, so I feel like this is a safe place, but I listen to 4 different Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcasts.
Oh my God.
Bless your heart. We're going to make fun of you for it.
I know. And there's like a couple of movie podcasts that I listen to. I like The Villain Was Right. I love it. I hate it, but I love it. I'm always listening to something. If I'm not listening to an audiobook, I'm usually listening to an audio podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. My YouTube viewing habits, it's mostly like I watch stuff that helps educate me about certain things, and very little of that is relevant to like the entertainment tube sphere. The entertainment tube sphere is more about entertainment for me. So like there are certain channels that like I watch just because like I love, like they make me laugh and I find them like everything Red Letter Media does. Like I'll
that's
something we'll
fan.
watch together.
Yeah. But a lot of the stuff, like I'll learn about, YouTube, I'll learn about podcasting, I'll learn about audio video stuff. Like I look at YouTube as a training resource for me to learn new skills and things like that. And then like the smaller aspect, sometimes I'll watch a Critical Drinker video or like whatever, or like I'll watch an EFAP live stream or something like that, just because like I find those channels entertaining, but I don't spend a whole lot of time watching the entertaining stuff unless it's short. Like Mobile Gamer has like these great like daily things for Marvel Strike Force, and I'll watch those because like they're short and they're entertaining and they're educational. Like they hit all the major things for me.
Yeah, I try to watch. I try to watch as many videos as I can of people that are in our little sphere of influence. But it's never a long video. Like Joker, he'll make like the 10-15 minute long videos.
Yeah,
he talks about stuff. I'll watch that kind of stuff. I'll watch videos of, the channels that we have come on our show or vice versa. And then there's like just some people in our sphere. Like I love watching Jay walk through an amusement park. That is so fun and relaxing to me. And I don't even know why, but it's just pure escapism.
Yeah.
when you know, for that kind of stuff. So like those kind of videos, you know, Gary Nerdrotic, I really enjoy some of his content, but you know, I can never watch Friday Night Tights because I'm at work, but I have to watch his 20-minute long edited videos that him and Perry put together, and they're great, fantastic. But they're also entertaining, and that's why I like watching those. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything and everyone and everybody. It's almost impossible.
Well, it is. There's just so much content out there that it really is. And,
Mhm.
you know, I think going back to the, you know, getting into your channel specifically, you know, your channel may have shown up in my recommendations, but
Mhm.
it's always like, okay, there's all these other people that I'm kind of watching. Do I have time to add one more to the mix?
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, for me, the Adam Baldwin video, because I like Adam so much and Firefly, and I was like, okay, yeah, these guys, definitely, I've got to take more notice of them. And
have you watched
go
our
back to
Firefly videos on the
Oh,
Patreon?
yes.
Oh God.
Yes, those are the best. If you want a reason to get on their Patreon channel, it is to see the Firefly content, because Vader's take is hilarious. I mean, those are just it's awesome. Don't get me wrong.
There's
Hey,
a
I
reason
respect
it
you
took
for
me
that.
years to get through the 12 episodes that they made because they're so glorious
Oh,
and
God.
revered by the nerds out there.
Horses in space.
Horses in space, buddy.
Covered
Yeah.
wagons in space. It's like you arrived on a spaceship, but you're walking around in a fucking
But
covered wagon
Adam
with donkeys and
Adam
shooters.
Baldwin's response to you about that
Was
criticism
perfect.
was
Yeah.
perfect.
It was perfect.
Put you in his place.
$2
Stupid.
from JT. What's up, JT? Longtime fan of the podcast. Hey, nerds, who knew Vader was Bigfoot? That's a joke. That's an inside joke
You're
for
gonna
us.
piss me off, JT. That's what you're gonna do.
JT famously photoshops our face on weird things, and I took a photo. I went to Pennsylvania this past week, and you can hear the whole story in our members area, but it'll keep coming out this week. But I went to this this place that my sister used to go to as a kid, and they had like a Bigfoot statue, and I took a picture next to it, and JT's like, it kind of looks like Vader. So he photoshopped Vader's face on Bigfoot, and I'm like,
It's true.
it does
No,
look
no,
like
he
Vader.
photoshopped Bigfoot's face on Vader.
Vice versa, yeah, both. It was quite glorious.
Yeah, the beards were very similar.
Yeah. But I hope that's not an offensive answer for me, but I really don't watch a lot of content anymore on YouTube unless
Listen,
it's like
if everybody watched every video that everybody in our sphere put together,
We'd all just
we
be
would
watching
never
each
be
other's
able to
shit.
watch everything.
yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's just it's too much. But you know, from time to time though, I just have a couple weird channels, and I think it goes along what Vader was talking about, watching Drunk 3PO, because I do the same thing, the park
Mhm.
hopping kind of stuff,
Mhm.
and
I love that
Jay
channel.
walks around the
Mhm.
world. I don't think he's posted anything in a while, but
No, it's been a minute. Did
But,
you guys
like-
watch his pirate? He started a new pirate
I have
channel.
not watched this.
I like his
oh,
channel.
I didn't know he did that. Oh, I have to check that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I can't remember what the name of it is, but he does have a pirate, like a history channel for pirates and stuff like that. It's pretty good. It's fun. Arr.
But like I'm not a camper, and yet somehow a video came up for this guy named Steve Wallace. He's a Canadian guy, and I just watched one of his videos, and he's just so down home. And now then I watch every bloody thing he makes, and
You
I'm
mean
not.
homeless role playing? That type of thing that Alex does.
Hey, it's
Settle
legit.
down.
It's legit. All right. It's a lot of fun, and it prepares you for the worst case scenario.
Jude and I bonded over our distaste for camping when we first
Early on
started
in our
dating.
relationship.
Yeah.
He was like, "Do you like camping?" And I was like, "No, why?" And he was like, "Oh, good, me neither."
I go camping every chance I get.
Camping is the best Western.
I'm planning.
Okay.
I'm planning on going camping in June or July this year. I got a buddy of mine who wants to go with me. I'm taking my kids. It's a whole thing. I'm going. It's gonna be
You're
great.
gonna give your kids frostbite. That's really nice.
Nah,
That's
they'll be
good.
fine. That's the whole point. Is you
Mhm.
survive. You take care of your kids and yourself.
I have a friend who's doing this living off the grid thing now, and he's posting like regular like Instagram videos about how he's living off the grid.
Wait,
and I
what?
legit am like, "Are you okay?"
Oh, I would follow.
Well,
that
if
guy.
you're posting pictures on Instagram, you're on the grid.
Dude, there's this guy in
That's so dumb.
there's this guy in Canada who like he purchased a plot of land, and everything that he's built on that land was made from the wood that he chopped there by himself. He builds cabins. He's got
That's
like a sauna.
fascinating.
It's freaking cool as
That's,
hell.
that's really neat.
It's super
Yeah.
cool.
Vader needs a sauna.
You know, it does.
What's funny is like we all have access to the Salty Nerd YouTube channel, and I can always tell when Alec's been on it because like the suggested videos are always like tiny house living off the grid, you know, like
Winter
like,
camping.
winter
Build
camping.
your house with garbage.
And then it's like filled with workout stuff, like how to work out with a mace and how to be a savage and how to be a barbarian. I'm just like, yeah.
And I'm
Let's
like,
go.
Alex has been doing research.
Yep,
again.
I'm doing research on new workouts. It's true. He does. He stalks me on my own channel.
I don't stalk you. They just show up when I log in.
Oh man. Anyway, what else you got for us, Astro? Take it away.
All right, so let's move on to a new topic. So some of these things, I'm limiting this to just kind of TV shows from the past. And these are ones that I've seen. So for anyone who's watching this later, you might say, well, why didn't you put in this one or why didn't you put in that one? It's just because I personally haven't watched it to any degree. So that's it. It's not a disrespect for those things. It's just I just haven't watched it. But so basically what I want to see is, have you watched it? If yes, what did you think about it briefly? And if you've done a review on it, you know, feel free to say, hey, yeah, we did a review, like Firefly, for example. I know you guys have watched it, you reviewed it, and it's up on the channel. Well, 4 episodes. But which reminds me, did you ever watch Serenity? The movie?
I mean, I have. Yeah.
I've seen it. But I don't think we've ever reviewed it.
We haven't.
No, you haven't
reviewed
reviewed it, but
Yeah.
I know when I was watching reviews, that was something you were talking about doing. So that's kind of an aside. But
Some
All right.
cowboys in space.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Well,
Pass.
Shut up.
yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. But all right. So number 1, Max Headroom.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Wait, that's a movie?
No, it's
TV show.
series.
Oh no, I know what it is, but I've never watched it. That's a little bit before my time.
Yeah, I did not watch it back in the day,
Oh, really?
but I remember it. But I never watched it for some reason.
It was trippy, man.
Yeah.
It was trippy.
Well, it's kind of wild because I mean, some of the stuff that they talked about then, how some of it's like, wow, that really applies to today. Like, you know, like not necessarily social credit, but if you say the wrong thing, suddenly it's like, whoops, I can't get into my house. Whoops, I can't buy anything. You know, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, I love that show. It was very short lived. Yeah, I think it's still on DVD. Not necessarily genre related, but it did have some fantastical elements. Northern Exposure.
Oh, I love Northern Exposure.
Yeah, I do too. I love that show.
It
It was a lot of fun.
Never heard of it. What is that?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's
We'll explain it later.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to talk. Yeah, talk to me about
It's
it.
about
later.
a quirky little town up in Alaska. With
yeah,
a,
and
with
New
a
York-
doctor from New York.
yeah, and he's
But
a
they-
fish out of water.
They basically paid for his doctor's degree. If I remember this right, they paid
Yep.
for his college.
Yep.
In exchange, he had to agree to come live and be the town doctor for 5 years or something after he graduated. And it's got all these quirky little like Wes Anderson style characters and stuff up there. It's actually kind of a really fun little show.
That
It's
sounds
good.
weird.
It's
It's a
good show.
TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. If you get a
It
chance,
went on
well,
for a few seasons.
Yeah, it
it went on for a
4 or
long
5
time.
years. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it went on for longer than that.
Yeah.
The lead star of the show actually ended up leaving, and that's when it kind of fell off for me. But
I got to pull up this chat from Broba Fett. He said, I watch everything at 2 times speed so I can keep up with so many content creators.
Jesus.
Listen, dude, my wife does that, and you people are aliens.
Aliens. I agree.
Aliens. Okay. I'm listening to her, and she's like, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm watching this podcast. I'm like, how can you understand it? Oh no, I can totally understand everything they're saying.
She's
I'm like,
on a whole different matrix level
you're
than you.
an alien. That's it. I'm married to an alien. That's insane. I can't do that. I cannot. I have to have it like half speed slowed down so I can understand what everybody's saying.
So Northern Exposure.
yeah, so
Right.
Northern Exposure. Okay. Now I know you guys did the modern Battlestar Galactica a few episodes on the show. Did you guys all finish that or no?
No, I just watched those 4 episodes.
I've finished the
Yeah,
series.
you guys
before.
have
Yeah,
all
I've
it.
watched the whole series for sure. It's,
Yeah,
one of the,
same here.
it's one of the best television series ever.
I'm the odd man out. I haven't seen the whole thing.
We're in the fracking
So
walls.
so the did you guys watch the prequel one that they did that was like a web series?
Yeah, I don't think I did. I don't remember.
that was called.
Oh wait, that was the one with before
the Young
the,
Adama. Young Adama, and then
Oh, I
Black
did watch
Widow.
that.
no.
Yeah, I did watch that, but I don't remember much about it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
There was several series from Battlestar. There was that
Yeah,
one, and then there was
Caprica.
Caprica, which I
Yeah.
did not like.
Yeah, I couldn't get into that one.
Stargate tried to do that. Stargate did like a prequel thing,
Yeah.
and it was nonsense because it like they
But
messed up.
It wasn't a prequel. It was, you talking about Stargate Universe?
No. It's a prequel to
No,
Stargate.
it was an exclusive to the Stargate
Oh,
streaming
Continuum?
service. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Continuum.
haven't
Yeah,
watched it.
I never
I
saw that one either.
my wife is such a huge Stargate fan that I purchased like the package that allowed you to watch that show, and I was like, "Hey, babe," I was like, "I got it for a gift," and she was like, "It was terrible because it retconned a bunch of stuff from the show, and then and then the end of that show, they retconned the show you just watched by erasing everybody's memory so that it didn't like
Right.
it was so dumb. It was really dumb.
But Battlestar Galactica, you have
I haven't finished it. I probably will someday, but
sure
I like
you won't.
no,
No,
probably
you
not.
won't. You're missing out.
I
But
probably
yeah, Blood and Chrome I have watched. Caprica I have watched, but they weren't great. That's what I remember about them. But not like the original reboot show.
Yeah, they had the one movie that featured Admiral Kane in the Pegasus. I don't know if you saw that or not, but that was really good. But what about the OG Battlestar Galactica?
Love it.
Never seen it.
That's our jam, man.
Oh,
That's our age.
That's I know that was such a cool thing in the playground.
Yeah, we all played We all played
The walking toasters with the red.
Yeah, man. Fire Command.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the Cylons were way cooler in the OG one than.
Well,
Way
they were
cooler.
guys in suits, weren't they?
Well, of course
Yes.
they were.
Yeah.
But they had the cool voice and that red swooping light, which Glenn Larson, I think that's his name. He brought it back for everyone. Every other show he ever made, there was something that had that red light.
I'll tell you one show I was surprised at how much we all enjoyed was the Buck Rogers show.
Oh, that was
Another
so
classic.
easy to make
Same
fun
era.
of.
Same era.
Yeah.
I never watched
that was
Buck Rogers. That's
sexy.
something that's on my list, but I just haven't had.
Yeah,
time to watch
you
it.
need to check out our Buck Rogers.
Oh yeah,
reviews
Buck
and
Rogers in the
members
25th. I think we did a trailer reaction for the.
Oh, it got blocked by YouTube.
Did it really?
Yeah.
God, I freaking
Bloody.
Oh,
rubbish.
the sex.
yeah, the sexy song one.
Yeah.
Is that? Can we find that anywhere? Do we still have it?
I'm sure
We
have it
should
somewhere.
post it on Patreon or
That'd
something.
be good Patreon content.
Yeah,
for
that'd
sure.
be great. I don't
I
remember.
think it was Patreon content.
I thought it was too.
Well, it was, but like we were uploading to YouTube as
And
a
then
private,
linking it, yeah.
Oh,
linking
well,
it
we
to
need
Patreon.
to find it.
Yeah,
Put it back up there.
put it back on.
Because
there,
at the
yeah.
time, Patreon wouldn't let you upload
Right.
video.
Mm.
Yeah, you've got that. As a reminder, you've got that Stargate Atlantis video that got yanked from
Yeah.
the members' content. But
Yeah, MGM was like, you can't play this.
yeah, it's like rubbish.
Sons of
But-
bitches.
I swear to God, dude, we get targeted by these people way more than anybody else. Like people
Oh,
watch.
the Halo reviews were a nightmare.
Oh
Yeah.
well, CBS is terrible. I mean, we kind of like figured out a way around that for like our card stuff, but gosh, freaking yeah, Halo was awful.
Yeah,
But I think they were trying to stamp down negative reviews of that show because they did the same thing to almost everybody. Like I remember Angry Joe, his reviews all got freaking claimed. He had to do like 4 different edits to get the review out there. So yeah, CBS is just awful.
Yeah,
but OG Battlestar, heck yes.
yeah, that was.
I actually want to do more. I want to watch that for us here.
Yeah.
someday.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Briscoe County Jr.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Kadish loves that.
I own the complete DVD set.
Never heard of it.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, man.
Sorry.
Bruce,
plays
yeah,
like
Bruce
an
Campbell. That was the only reason I watched it.
Yeah, he plays like an Indiana Jones style, like cowboy adventurer
Oh,
that deals with like weird alien stuff.
that sounds fun.
It's an awesome show.
We should watch it.
And it's hilarious.
He's the Bruce Campbell stand.
Yeah, he's a super.
I-
super
I
fan.
really am,
I
yeah.
was not into that show. So
No.
no.
Yeah.
The first couple seasons were good, but then like once they
Well-
resolved like the UFO storyline, it
Yeah.
didn't.
Well, I think my understanding, and Kadish, you may know more than me, but that network interference is what caused them to wrap up that whole sci-fi
Well,
aspect.
it was voted as like the most violent show on television for some reason, and so like it got like a lot of like
Really?
like criticism. Yeah,
Wow.
got like a lot of like scrutiny from the network to like tone down some stuff, but it was like when Bruce Campbell in his prime. It was a fantastic, fun TV show. I loved it.
Well, I think we might have to explore that a little bit. That
I think-
sounds
I
like a
think
lot of fun.
Bruce Campbell's one of those guys that I've never been able to
You either love or you hate.
Yeah, and I appreciate Kadish's passion for him. But
my favorite,
and he's got a really cool story from when he was a kid.
Yeah,
but it's not my thing, man. I can't get into the dude.
My favorite Bruce Campbell content is Burn Notice with Jeffrey Donovan. I think I love that show.
Yeah.
It was an old USA show that came on about the spy. It was so freaking cool, and Bruce Campbell was awesome in that show.
Bruce Campbell's awesome in everything.
Fair enough.
See, you can't trust that. You can't trust that.
He's a stan. It's like me
wrong.
It's
me wrong.
It's like me saying all the Jurassic Park movies are good.
Oh,
like,
man, everything
I love all of them. They're
everything
so fun.
Harrison Ford touches is gold, man. It's great. You can't. There's no battle.
Gold, Jerry.
It's gold.
All right,
Yeah.
Earth 2.
Never heard of it.
No.
Never seen it. I've heard you guys
That's
talk
another
about
one
it.
people have been trying to get us to watch.
I did not like it. I watched it when it aired. I found it. I thought like going into the show it was going to be really good, but it ended up being just kind of boring.
Yeah, I remember watching it when it was first on, and I was kind of like, cool concept, bad execution.
Yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. But Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
So
And Tim Curry was in it.
Yeah.
So
Good cast.
I liked it. It ended on a cliffhanger, sadly, but so we never got to finish it. But anyway, Babylon 5.
I've watched the entire series. I have everything on DVD. It's a very uneven show. Like I feel like the first 2 seasons aren't that great, especially the first season. The 4th season's the best. The 5th season was kind of an afterthought because like they thought they were getting canceled. So they kind of merged the planned season 5 and 4 together. Like overall, like I feel like DS9 was like a better version of that show. But I do have some nostalgia for it. I know that they're bringing it back as like an animated thing, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Somebody mentioned Terra Nova, which was a very short-lived TV show.
Just one season, right?
Yeah, very short.
It was a really dumb show.
It was a dumb show.
I don't remember what it was.
It had dinosaurs.
It was
so
Steven Spielberg and Stephen
Oh
Lang.
yeah.
I don't think they even showed the dinosaurs, did
No,
they?
they did. They did.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The whole time travel thing really.
Well, they took a wormhole
Yeah.
as an escape from the dying Earth to go back in time to a previous version of the
So
Earth.
they can make it die faster.
So they could start over again, but that they went there and there was still dinosaurs. It was really weird, very strange concept, but I had fun with that show when it was on.
So Crusade, Babylon 5 Crusade.
Didn't watch it.
I didn't like the original Babylon 5. I mean, I watched every episode, and I remember getting in regular fights with my brother because he was a huge Babylon 5 fan. And it's just, I could never get into it. The dumb clown head guys. And, I did think some of the alien concepts were kind of neat, but it was just one of those shows that I felt was trying to maybe do too much or something. I could never follow it. I can never get into what was going on. So I don't know, just not my thing.
Well, Crusade for me was, I thought, better. It was one that TNT kind of killed with network interference, but because it was more Star Trek in that you had the starship. They were going out, but not to explore strange new worlds, but hey, Earth is dying. There's a virus infecting everyone. We have to find a cure. And I kind of like the concept, and it was kind of like a fantasy almost. Well, they called it Crusade. It was almost like a King Arthur in a science fiction kind of deal, because you had like the techno mage, you had kind of like a cleric type, not a cleric, but you had the healer kind of character. You had basically trope type characters in a sci-fi setting that would fit into an RPG. So anyway, Space Above and Beyond.
Yes, I remember watching that when that aired. Ended weird, but it was basically like Starship Troopers without the weird alien bugs.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember what it was about. So it must not have been too impressionable.
About Space Marines.
So.
Yeah, it was. They were.
It was like late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that came out in that time frame that I just caught smatterings of.
I missed a lot of
it was a Fox original show, and it was really bad.
Right.
It wasn't a good show at all. But what was interesting is like, I think in the finale, they knew that they weren't getting renewed, so they just killed everyone in the finale.
I gotta
Like, we're
get.
not coming
I
back.
missed a lot of that stuff because I was too busy outside. Like I lived in the country. I was out doing stuff with my friends, like dirt biking and stuff like that. I didn't watch a lot of stuff in the 90s
You're
and
not
2000s.
being a nerd.
And then I was out not being a nerd. And then when I married my wife, she's way more of a nerd than I am, and she like introduced me to shows like Stargate and Firefly and all that stuff. And she was like, "Hey, check these shows out." I'm like, "These are amazing. How long have these been around?" She's like, "For like 20 years." I'm like, "I had no idea."
Yeah, so that was what the VCR was for. I'd be at work and they would record all night while I was at work, and then when I had time off, it was like, okay, let me see what I recorded. So
I do remember TiVo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little logo with the little antennas, and he's like, "TiVo it." Yeah, I do remember that. I never bought it though; it's too expensive.
Andromeda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that I do remember. That was an awful show.
Terrible show.
Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, Kevin Sorbo. He was the starship captain and
Post Hercules.
Yeah, that was an awful show. But I do remember the hologram chick was super hot though.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
See, that was a show I liked the first season of, maybe into the second, but then they fired Robert Hewitt Wolf, and then they turned it into an episodic rubbish show. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm done. But I thought the first season had potential, but then it died.
That'd be kind of fun for us to do for like a Patreon show.
Oh, all of these shows we could do a month on.
Yeah.
Just do like 4 or 5 episodes and see if we like them for sure.
Sliders.
Oh, I loved Sliders.
Yeah, Sliders.
Mm-hmm.
Never watched it.
I've tried rewatching it again. It's not as great.
No, but Sliders was a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Sliders was like kind of like the same type of. Was it even in the same world as that one show Eureka? Is Eureka and Sliders? Do they share?
I don't think so. No, Sliders
What
was
am I thinking of?
wormholes.
No, that was Warehouse 13.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think about Sliders all the time. Like, oh, if I went through a slider hole right now, what kind of a world would I end up in?
It was like the first multiverse TV
Yeah.
show, and it had Jerry O'Connell and the guy who played Gimli.
Yes.
And then
John Rhys Davies.
eventually, like Jerry O'Connell's brother, like came on the show. It was really weird.
Well, that's when it really started going downhill for me. I was like, okay, I'm gone.
Eureka is another show that Ashley introduced me to.
Yes.
Eureka and Warehouse 13 are both good shows that she was like, "Hey, check these shows out too." Like, I guess when I was out doing like jock dirt bike stuff, she was inside watching all these sci-fi shows.
We need to boot Kirkanos from the chat for mentioning Farscape.
How dare you?
Hey, Farscape was good, man.
I love Farscape.
We did
Muppets in
before.
Space.
No, remember
Fuck that show.
Darth
dude.
Gimp or whatever his name is?
Gimpy. Yeah.
With his freaking leather gimp suit.
Scorpius, man.
Oh,
Get it right.
God, it was hard to watch. That show was ridiculous.
I hate it.
I'm surrounded by Philistines.
That was
Remember
like,
remember
that
the
was like
Muppet?
my least
Remember
favorite
the
Muppet.
Muppet was like grinding up against the girl in the show, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about what I'm doing,
And the
Missy."
helium farts.
Oh,
Katie just made us watch that for one of our months for Patreon. I hated coming to work every day. I hated it. I did not want to talk about this show. It's like,
so bad.
It's awful. And we caught shit about it every week.
Yes, we did.
People would just do not like our takes on that show.
No.
We
There's a lot of people.
we should make those public.
Oh God, they get a billion views with 1,000 comments of people.
God.
You're terrible. You're not even nerds. Yeah, I can already hear the comments.
Die, nerds,
yeah,
die.
I can already hear the comments. I'm not gonna read.
Not gonna read those.
Not gonna read those comments.
That's right.
Sorry, guys.
So going from Sliders to Quantum Leap.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I loved Quantum Leap.
The old one.
Scabacula.
the original one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Alex didn't know how to pronounce Scott
Bakula.
Bakula. Yeah, he pronounced it
Bakula.
Bakula. He's like, I don't even know who that guy is.
Skapukla. I'm like, oh, whatever that guy's name is. I know my wife recently found the new version, and it's a bit woke. I'm not really interested. She said the show's good, but it's got a bunch of woke stuff in it. So,
The original Quantum Leap was really good.
Yeah,
Really
the original was
good. Yeah.
what
So-
else?
All right, Highlander.
No,
Starting
there
with
can be only one.
There
man.
can be only one.
The
Unless you're
movie?
one of the 20 that's in the show.
No, the
So-
TV
well, it
show.
started as a movie, and then there was a TV series.
Yeah,
Wow,
I think I
Did
tried
we-
to watch that
we've-
and I just stopped.
we've done Highlander,
The movie.
the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
didn't do the show.
they didn't do the show. but-
No.
Well, he's asking if we've seen the show. And
I
yes,
have
yeah,
I have
like
not.
3 out of the 4 of us have seen the show.
Yeah.
I have not.
I
But
haven't finished it.
when I go,
I'm
to,
not gonna.
when I go to Scotland, though, I fully intend on standing on the Highland somewhere in some
Don't-
mountain somewhere. and being
Don't they
like,
try to wrap the show up in the last movie where they bring Connor and what's the show guy's name? Duncan. They bring him together in one of the movies.
They do, but they don't do it very well.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one decent Highlander movie.
Whatever happened to
it's
the Henry Cavill reboot?
It's probably still in
Have
production.
they ever thought of, are they still doing that?
I'll Google
No
it real
idea.
quick. Let's
No
see.
idea.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill probably walked away from it because they weren't going to stay true to the
Probably.
original content. He's
Good,
like, you know
good
what?
for him.
I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Good
I'm
for
going to go
him.
play D&D at my house.
Like, what do you
One
mean
of
you're
us.
not reusing the Queen soundtrack?
Well,
Uh,
to me, there's no reason to remake it. The original movie is fine the way it is. There's nothing wrong with it. And the TV series, at first I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a try because what's his face, the actor from the first movie who plays Connor McLeod, I think he had a cameo in the
Christopher
first
Lambert.
movie.
Christopher Lambert.
But then I don't know. It just everything they did that there was no reason for a franchise there. Everything
there
about
could
it.
literally be only one.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so it was just, I don't know. I
Well,
couldn't get
what
it.
was
it also
it
ignores
was-
the first movie where basically, like, Connor McLeod becomes the one.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like, oh, there are now so many different
Yeah.
immortals out there.
We had to have something for Mario Van Peebles to do. Okay.
It's a Highlander convention. There could be only one convention.
Okay. The most updated version of this says that the director just feels like he needs to take more time to make sure he gets it right. Like,
So it's in
all right.
developmental hell.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
developmental hell.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. That's political
Nice.
speak for I don't know what I'm doing.
But don't ever talk shit about Christopher Lambert around me because he's one of God's gifts to us as humans.
How?
Well, he was the reason I watched
He's
the.
fantastic.
Because of Fortress?
He's good in everything he does.
Christopher Lambert was the reason I watched that. What was it? Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. It's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch our Fortress review, you might get some fun Easter
Oh
eggs. there.
God, I should probably clip that for some short form content. Nick says our coverage of Orphan Black caused him to binge watch the whole show for like 4 weeks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that show's so good.
It was cool. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, but what's this? Popcorn Planet. What's up, Popcorn Planet? It says psst, incoming. What? Did he email you something, or is that the Highlander? rating?
He might be like rating our stream.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
That'd be neat.
Nice.
Right on.
It's not sending drones at us.
No.
Don't fucking say that.
I don't know.
What you got next there? What's
All right.
the
So
next show?
Sequest DSV.
Oh,
yeah.
Sequest.
Yeah, it was basically a Steven Spielberg like underwater submarine futuristic thing. It was Star Trek underwater, basically.
Huh.
That sounds fun.
It was not.
Oh.
It was a crappy show. It was
Oh
terrible.
man, that's a bummer.
The first season I thought was okay, but then it jumped to shark.
Well, it was,
They-
it was Roy Scheider
Yeah.
From Jaws. He played the captain.
And they had their own Wesley
Oh.
Crusher on there. They had their own.
Oh
child
yeah, that's
prodigy.
right. They did.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, that sounds like something we
Yeah,
should talk
and-
about.
And Colin Powell was the president of the United States.
Oh man, this sounds fun. It's like Captain Nemo and like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Kind of.
That sounds fun.
Even the submarine was a little Nautilus looking.
Even
kind
if
of
it's
thing.
terrible, that sounds like we should talk about it. That sounds awesome.
Oh man.
Popcorn Planet raid. Yep, you called it, Kadish. He's
Oh,
raiding
nice.
us. What's up, everybody from the Popcorn Planet? Welcome to the show. We're talking about old sci-fi that we may or may not have watched. So, what's up, Popcorn Planet raid? What's going on, guys?
That's weird. I never even
Thanks,
raided
Andy.
before.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Andy Signor, for sending us
Very
his
cool.
people. What's going on, everybody? All right, Astro, you got to spice it up. We got a bigger audience now. What's going on?
All right. So we're going to go super niche here. Space Rangers.
Space Rangers.
I
I've never
remember
even heard of that.
I remember watching a few episodes.
Space
but
Rangers.
I don't remember anything about
It was a 6-episode series, is all
Yeah.
it was, but
Yeah.
I thought it had an interesting premise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was.
It sounds like a virus you get out in space, like the space herpes.
It sounds like somebody was trying to make a knockoff. What is that? Knockoff Starship Troopers or something like that. Space Rangers. It's like a low budget version of that. What's
Well,
up? Look at
the
this.
lone Space Rangers.
Holy cow, man! That's a serious raid. We're up in 300 people
Jesus,
already.
man.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Do we
Damn.
have a $2 super chat or a super sticker from Popcorn Planet, sir? Thank you for
That's
rating
awesome.
us. That's fantastic. That's
Smash
wonderful.
that sub button while you're
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is June Claude Van Damme month. We're talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. We're doing all kinds of really fun stuff with that.
And then we're gonna do Jurassic June.
Oh, we're doing Jurassic June.
I am excited.
We're gonna watch with that. What's that movie called? Black Demon.
The Black Demon.
The Black Demon. It looks fantastic.
I know a big ass shark when I see one.
Yes, I do too.
I hate you guys already.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Why is there an echo? There shouldn't be an echo. I think we should be good.
No, there's no echo.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we're good.
That's on your end, man.
Anyway, what else we got going on in this channel this week? We've got a lot. Warrior. Oh yeah, guys, if you're not watching Warrior on Max,
Yeah.
dude.
We're about to wrap up season 2.
Yeah,
And season 3 is about to start at the end of the month. So we're really excited to talk
yeah.
about
Go
that.
check it. It's on HBO,
Everybody
or I
speaks.
guess it's called Max now. Go check that out. $2 super chat. From
Hey, Steph the Alt.
Steph the Alt Nerd, $2
Nice.
super sticker. Thank you so much for that. We got another super sticker with $3.30 for
Shauna Brown.
Shauna Brown. What's up? Thank
Steph
you.
is one of the co-hosts on Popcorn Planet.
Oh, right
Nice.
on.
Thank you.
Right on. That's a farting ginger doggy. What is this Popcorn Planet? That's a farting ginger doggy. Let's see more, guys. Anyway, I'm getting so many comments I can't even keep up.
That's good.
That's
Astro,
great.
what's the next show? What do you got?
What do you got?
Next show, OG Knight Rider.
Yes,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, Knight Rider.
David Hasselhoff?
That's
For sure. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
staple. That's got to be a staple for a lot of people.
I think
Yeah,
Kit
dude.
was one of my first crushes.
Yeah, man.
the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably my first man crush for sure.
Oh, man.
Everybody wanted that car. And the whole lights.
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Do you
Oh,
remember their failed reboot with Val Kilmer as the
Oh,
voice of
yeah.
Father?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember the failed reboot because it wasn't a Ford Mustang or something, wasn't it? They had Kit. They made
Well,
the new
they've done
Kit.
several. They've done several modern reboots of the thing, and I don't remember all the cars they've used. But have you watched? Now I'm just curious. I'm asking this seriously because some things, you have rose-colored glasses about how old shows were.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
When I was a teenager, I mean, Knight Rider was the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like I'll sometimes see clips today, and I'll go, "Ooh, that looks kind of cringe."
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
Is it cringe today, like almost unwatchable, or is it can you get into the cheesy fun?
I think it's more cheesy fun than it is cringe. I think there's something about Hasselhoff running around with his freaking shirt unbuttoned and like
Sure.
jumping into a supercar that
Got
talks to
got
you.
his little bit of a fro going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, with his fro.
his-
Like it's nostalgic cheese. It might be bad, but
Listen, man.
it's so fun. You can't not have a good time. It's so good. It's so fun.
Astro knows.
Wait,
'cause we're the same age.
wait. Hold on.
What's up?
I got to call this up. So Andy from Popcorn Planet. Also, Kadish, looks like you were right about Indy 5. I apologize.
Oh,
You were right.
Oh God.
I always like to highlight comments that point out that I was right.
Yeah.
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 Real quick
it's your favorite thing
to,
ever.
to everyone out there from Popcorn Planet who's in the chat, thank you all so much for being here. Really
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's absolutely incredible. You guys are awesome. 332 people watching. That's fantastic. Let's talk about Indy 5 real quick. So just to give some context for that and for Andy inflating your ego. So you made a tweet like what 2 years ago now. It was just basically like, hey, just in case you think this movie might be
It
good.
was how we met Andy. Actually.
Yeah, it was. But go ahead, tell the story because you're
Yeah, so like I put out a tweet. So some behind the scenes pictures of Indy 5 had been leaked online,
Mhm.
and everyone was losing their minds over it. And I just put out a tweet one night sitting on my couch, not really thinking about it, saying like, for those of you out there who are getting excited over these pictures, let me just remind you: 1, Steven Spielberg is not directing; 2, Kathleen Kennedy is producing; 3, Harrison Ford is 78 years old; and 4, Jonathan Kasdan wrote the script. That was it. I didn't tag anyone. I just put it on my personal feed. The next day, James Mangold somehow finds the tweet and goes on like a 12-hour binge of like just attacking me and us and our podcast and all this stuff. And in fact, and I guess like, it was big news. Everyone saw it. And we were being invited on a bunch of streams. One of them was Andy Signor. And
he was ready to take you down.
Oh yeah, he was really
he was very much pro Mangold. And so I was like, hey man, why don't I come on the stream and we can talk about it?
Mhm.
And we had a very civil conversation. He was a very cool guy. And afterwards, he was like, "Oh man, thanks for coming on." And he's like, "I didn't, like I thought you were gonna be more of an asshole, but like, you're actually pretty cool."
You do give asshole.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have
you
resting
kinda do
asshole.
We
face,
we call it resting Katish face. for
Yeah,
sure.
we do.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be in the office with him, just like doing random editing work, and I'll look at him like, "Hey man, what do you think about this?" And he's like, I'm like, "Are you mad at me?" He's like, "No, why?"
I do the same thing.
You know what?
I'm like, did I
it too.
do something? Why are you looking at me like that? And he's like, this is just literally my face.
I'm like, this is my face.
Apparently, that comes through on your tweets.
Yeah.
I guess. But the funny thing is like years later, now that the movie's set to come out and people are seeing it, that you come back to that tweet and they're like, "Yeah, you were right. Yeah."
Bro says, "I'm a salty nerd thanks to Mangold." Yeah, Mangold
Yeah.
got us our first 1,000 subs, I think.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
us monetized.
Yeah,
He
he
is,
is
and he
monetized.
hasn't stopped attacking us. He destroyed Corky.
I did.
He
He
robbed
murdered
our
Corky,
he
yeah.
robbed our podcast studio. He threw a rock at our door.
Oh,
Anything that happens for the rest of our lives, we're
It's
gonna
just-
say it was James Van Gold.
man, I wanted Indy 5 to be good so badly. I'm like, please give this guy a great send off.
He wanted it to be good too.
And we all do. Like,
Yeah.
none of
Yeah.
us here are like, I hope that movie sucks.
I actually didn't care either way.
Well, I'm a huge indie fan, and I wanted it to be good.
Well,
And
I
I'm
never wanted
bummed
it.
out.
I never wanted it to suck. I wanted them to go out good. If they
Yeah.
had to go out with a fourth,
It's
one,
the fourth
I
because
don't-
the fourth one
we
doesn't
don't-
exist.
Doesn't exist. That's right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like we're going to get that ending we want, right? So I guess there's still only 3. And that's fine. That's fine.
Well,
with me.
Last Crusade is the perfect ending to me.
It's
Yeah.
it literally rides
really
off
is.
into the sunset. How could you not just take that as an ending and go with it? Like that, I don't know.
Because Disney likes to lose
Ah,
money.
But that non-existent fourth one was not a Disney thing. That was a Lucas thing. I don't know why they made that one. Why'd they make it?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know either.
Because they needed to have aliens and alternate universes.
Our multiverse versions actually reviewed that movie
Yeah,
in an alternate universe where it actually
Right.
exists.
yeah, yeah. We have a love-hate relationship with Mangold. I love all of his other movies, but apparently, it's weird when directors start working for Lucasfilm, how everything kind of goes.
Very strange.
It's very strange.
Drink this Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they really do. They make bad movies and they talk crap about the fan base. It's like
Yeah.
this is a to-do list if you're going to work
Yeah.
for Lucasfilm.
Welcome aboard. Here's
Welcome.
your uniform. Drink this Kool-Aid.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But yeah, you set them off, and that's the bag that we've had with Indy 5 for what, 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, we're gonna still go see it, right? I'm gonna go see it.
Are we?
I think we should, just for
Yes, as long as you buy my ticket.
I'll buy your
I'm
ticket
going
for
to
you.
buy a ticket for a different movie. And then I'm going to go into the Indy 5 theater.
That's something.
That
Go-
reminds me.
yeah, go ahead.
Because our theaters now, right? You buy an assigned seat.
Yes.
You can buy them at the theater, the
Mhm.
ones that are left, or you can buy them online. I went to this movie. It was the one we went and watched Burt Kreischer.
The machine.
The machine.
Yeah.
There was 12 people in this theater on Monday afternoon. Okay. My wife and I are sitting there in our back row on the far left seat. That's where we always sit. That's where I always like to sit. And there's this one guy comes in, an empty theater,
Mhm.
right in the middle of the theater. And sure as shit, this lady comes in by herself. And she walks up to this guy with her ticket and she goes, "Excuse me,
Oh,
but you are
no.
sitting in my chair." And I'm just like, oh my God. This bitch couldn't move over 2 seats. Just
She paid
and
for it.
sit-
That's
it's
her
just-
seat.
It's so funny to me though, when you know what I'm saying? It's like the
The-
entire theater
the-
was open.
The worst. like me and Jude buy 2 seats in the back row for Fast X.
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Back row's completely empty.
Yeah.
We get in there, we sit in our seats. Then as the movie's starting, a couple comes down and sits right
Right in
next
front.
to us. I'm like,
There's nobody else in the whole row.
like you had the entire row to choose from. You choose the 2 seats that are already occupied.
And
Like,
you can see on the screen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's somebody sitting right next to you. Move over, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
We
gotta
don't
have the
know each
buffer. You
other.
gotta have the
Yeah,
buffer
yeah.
seat.
That's so weird. Yeah, that's the guy's rule for urinals.
Yeah.
Like I was at the airport. I was going to the bathroom, completely empty. I was on a red eye flight at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And I go to the bathroom, and this dude walks right next to me, and I'm like, "Fucking serious right now,
Yeah.
dude?"
I think they
They
were
broke the code.
swingers.
It's like, you know what the code says? The code says
The bro
if
code
I'm in
says
the middle, you go on the end.
one other
Yeah.
one.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
at
even
least
that.
minimum one other one.
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
have the buffer.
You gotta
Gotta
have
have the buffer. It's
Those
the
are the
same thing.
people that walk around the grocery store with a pineapple in their grocery cart. looking for other swingers.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Wait, what?
Don't
I
put pineapples
buy
in your grocery
pineapples.
cart.
The upside down pineapple is the symbol for swingers.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
So if you
it's
have a
upside-
pineapple in your grocery
Okay,
cart, you're
alright.
looking for something.
Also, if you sit next to someone in the back row of the movie theater,
You're looking
it's
for something?
heavily implied. We're the fuck back here, right?
So, but I do.
Andy's crowd just left.
Yeah, they're like, oh, who are these guys?
What?
Who are these people?
Swinging pineapples.
Oh my
huh?
god.
Well, I'm learning stuff.
That's what we're here
Oh,
for.
geez, I forgot Astro was here.
It's technically his show.
Yeah.
You got any more for us, Astro?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Okay.
But I wasn't going to interrupt the fun time. Let's see. All right. So we talked about Knight Rider. Along that same vein, Airwolf.
Oh, I
love
do.
Airwolf.
I love Airwolf. That show was so bonkers. Do you remember the freaking helicopter had like jetpacks on it and would like
Yeah.
fly through the air? Love
You
that.
know what? The Maverick helicopters down here on the strip,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
all look like Airwolf.
They kind of look like
helicopters.
Airwolf.
Yeah.
They've got like the extra stuff
Yeah.
on the side of them and
Little
yeah,
jet
yeah,
things and the Ernest Borgnine,
yeah.
Jan Michael
I
Vincent.
did watch that show.
I had Airwolf on my wall when I was a kid.
Yeah, Airwolf.
I had a badass poster of the helicopter. I
That's-
thought it was super cool.
That's awesome.
So, Astro, I got one for you.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
The Great American Hero.
Greatest American Hero.
I saw some of that. I didn't. I never quite got into that one. I know the song though.
Believe
God,
it or
that's gonna
not,
be in my yes.
I'm
that-
walking on air. Never thought I could feel so free.
yes. Now that song will be in my head the rest of the bloody
You're
evening.
Earth earwormed everybody in the chat. That's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why,
No.
and this never. That's something actually I thought I need to give that a fair shake because at the time of that when it was out, I just
It's probably a
just couldn't watch
terrible
it.
show, dude, with a cool theme song, like Star Trek.
Yeah,
Well,
it
or
definitely
or Star
had a
Trek
good song.
Enterprise.
The guy who starred in that show was the same guy from Carrie. Remember?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
dude who took Carrie to the
Yeah.
prom.
that was him.
I never watched
Same
that
dude.
show.
Oh wow, that's weird. That's
Yeah.
a
So
yeah,
no.
he had the golden curls.
that's a
Yeah.
name drop.
Yeah, like these
Oh,
red
that's the guy
underoos that he
from
wore.
House, the horror movie House.
Oh, the horror movie. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the TV show.
No.
I despise the theme song for the Star Trek Enterprise show. I hated that they went like
Oh.
weird country.
No, it was like Michael Bolton.
It was so
No, it wasn't
dumb.
Michael
I was like, "This, come on, guys, this is not Star Trek music. What's happening right now?" I hated
I
that
could
theme
probably
song.
sing. I gotta get it going.
well,
Yes.
that
It's
show
been a
originally it was just called
long road.
yeah.
That's
Yes,
it.
that's it. It's been a long road. I'm like, this is
Getting
not
from
Star
there
Trek.
to here.
Oh god, you stop. That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
that
Originally,
was-
it was just called Enterprise.
Yeah.
And then like once it start failing in the ratings, they were like, oh, it's Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah. Oh god, that show. I don't mind the show too much, but that intro was so cringy. It was so dumb.
Yeah,
They had, like-
it was worse.
They had like flashes of like the 70s and 60s rockets.
They
taking
just
off
showed
and stuff
all
like
the
that.
ships that were the Enterprise, named
Uh.
Enterprise through history.
Get out of here with your nonsense. Nonsense.
That was all true. That was, all
I didn't
those,
say it wasn't
all those
true.
vessels were named
I
Enterprise.
said it was nonsense.
Uh-oh.
What?
What's up?
Tom says, don't you dare knock that song.
Yeah.
I know that song is terrible, Tom, and I won't hear anything else about it.
But speaking about the Enterprise show, just real quickly, that was one when it came out. The first two seasons, I'm like, are you serious? The temporal Cold War, blah blah blah. But then that third season hit, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is kind of neat. Yeah, I like it. Serial format. And then the fourth season was where it finally got to where I wanted it to be, which was the founding of the Federation.
Yeah,
Mm.
the fourth season was where they finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before
They-
that, it was all that Zindi bullshit. And
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
You just have terrible taste. I know. It's my wife said she liked it too. I know everybody seems to like that song. I just thought it was awful.
I don't
for a
like-
Star
I
Trek show.
hated that song.
Oh,
I
thank
hated
you.
the song, and yet it's another one of those that'll just burn in your skull
Yeah.
if you watch it. Because I ended up buying the Blu-rays a couple years ago because
I keep hearing the Greatest American Hero theme song.
Here, I'll fix that
Thank
right
you for
now.
putting that. I was using the Enterprise song to push that one out of my head.
It's
but,
been a long road.
Are you singing karaoke right
Getting
now?
From there to here.
Hold the lyrics
It's
up
been
on
a
his
long
phone.
time.
it's a copyright
But
claim.
my time is
Oh my
finally
god, he
near.
knows it too.
I will see my dream come alive. At last I will touch the sky. and they know they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind.
God, at least get a
'Cause
super
I've
chat.
got faith
At least do it for
of the
money.
heart. Going where my heart will take
Oh
me.
my
I've
God.
got faith to believe. I can't believe I'm doing that. That's the dumbest thing.
You just sang karaoke in front of 200 people
250 people. Some assholes.
That was
doing
awesome.
it.
for free.
Yeah.
Good job.
He's not signed anyone.
I've
So
got faith.
if you want to
Faith of the
sign this guy to your
heart.
label.
You know
Yeah.
damn well Katie's just gonna clip that and use it
That's
somewhere.
okay.
It's
That's
gonna be
the,
part of this super chat.
and my tequila is empty.
Oh man.
No, it's time for more. All right,
Yeah, go
next
for it.
show.
Wait.
Wait.
We have
What?
somebody super chat to make him stop.
Yeah.
Please. I'm with there they are. $4.99 from Sarah. What about Quantum Leap? That's what I think of every time I see Enterprise. I accept AI to pop up. I expect
Ow.
AI to pop up. Ow.
Ow.
Oh, I thought that
Ow.
was AI.
Yeah.
Because Scott Bakula stars in Enterprise.
Bakula.
Bakula. It's because I didn't know.
Time traveling vampire. Scott Bakula.
That'd be a fun show to watch. Time
Well, you know,
travel.
it's kind of funny. You talk about Quantum Leap. You know, yeah, it was kind of like Enterprise. Hey, look, it's the guy from Quantum Leap. He's the captain of the starship. Ooh, and then you kind of forget about Quantum Leap.
That
It was
would've
the
been
same thing
funny.
with Deep Space Nine when they announced Avery Brooks as the captain. You know, the mainstream press was talking about, oh wow, it's a first black man to be a command in Star
Oh.
Trek, and then all of us
It's also
nerds were
like
going,
from Spencer Confidential.
Hawk.
right?
Yeah,
Hawk,
it's freaking Hawk is going to be the captain of
Yeah.
a Star Trek show.
Star Trek literally drove him insane.
He's yeah, I heard he was a little nuts.
He's crazy, man.
So
Is he?
Steve Stockwell was alive when they made Enterprise. So I'm really kind of surprised he never came on in like a guest capacity.
Maybe they had a beef.
You think?
Well, he was also doing Battlestar Galactica at the time.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Yeah, he was one of the Cylons.
Yeah, one of the big
He
ones.
was the leader.
Yeah.
Was there like 9 of them, right?
Well, no, there was
Or
12
6?
total Cylons.
12. That's right. 12. Yeah.
But
But you don't know who they are.
No,
You
I haven't
haven't
finished
seen
the
the
show.
show.
I haven't finished it, so I don't know who they all are.
Ooh.
Oops.
Oh, we
Spoilers.
just spoiled.
Spoilers.
yeah,
Spoilers!
because that is when he shows up. Yep, that is a spoiler. But
Not gonna watch it anyway.
Oh, Darth
You
Maul
are
says he did do an
eventually gonna.
episode. Darth Maul said
did
he
he?
did do an
What
episode.
episode?
I don't know.
Oh, what to find? Google it.
Yeah,
The power of the internet is at your
I'm-
fingertips.
My name's not Jamie.
yeah.
Pull it up.
Oh man! All
right.
right, what's his
Next
name?
show.
No, just go ahead. Yeah.
Red Dwarf.
Love Red Dwarf.
No, I saw.
Schmeg-
Is that
the Schmeg
goofy BBC thing that you keep
Yeah.
trying to get us to
Yeah,
watch?
you're gonna watch it
Oh,
someday.
God,
Oh, he's been talking about this for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$10 from Nick for Vader. It's been a long time since I've had that dumb song stuck in my head.
It's been a long road.
Oh Jesus!
You're welcome.
yeah. All night I'm
Thank
going to
you,
be
Nick.
alternating between that song and "Believe It or Not." So,
Oh God!
greatest American hero.
Earwormed.
So yeah.
That's good stuff.
Red Dwarf, though, yeah, I know it's cheesy BBC, especially the first season. It's cheap sets and blah
Yep.
blah blah. But there's something to be said that it was what the last thing they did was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, they're still
I mean,
making.
Yeah, it started in the 80s, and I mean that's just what kind of legs it has. But well, I guess you probably have to get into British humor. I don't know if you guys are into that or not, but
Depends on what it is.
really depends. Yeah, sometimes I am. I'm like, oh, British humor is hilarious, like Monty Python's type stuff. But then, and I love Top Gear with the original 3
Yeah.
British guys. Like, those guys are hilarious. But then I watch a clip or like half an episode of Red Dwarf, and I'm like, what is this trash?
Yeah, it's really weird because I can watch stuff like Red Dwarf and I love it,
Yeah.
but I can't stand Doctor Who.
Yeah, I don't.
So
yeah.
I can't sit here and tell you why.
It's
I
weird.
like one and just like the other. It's like
Yeah.
I don't like Blackadder either, but yet my brother loves it. It's like I don't know what the difference is. It's just I just really laughed at some of the Red Dwarf stuff. I think it's kind of subversive and they get a little dirty and naughty sometimes, and it's just that's what I like. It's funny, man. It's a good show.
Naughty.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a more of a shot. Like, I would like to sit down and watch it with you. Because
Yeah.
the last couple of times I watched
Season one's hard.
yeah,
Is it?
season one's
Yeah.
rough. It's real
Okay.
rough.
We start
It
with season
gets-
And it's
two.
been a long time since I've watched.
Do you want
it,
to come
so-
over and watch for
It's
a
been-
dwarf?
No. She's like, want to come over for a watch party?
She's always trying to get people to come over.
I
Every
know.
day I ask Alex to
Yeah.
come over and watch movies with me.
Dude, I have 3,000 kids. I can't come over.
And just bring them.
You forget you have those children all the time.
I got a lot on my plate. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah. 2
What else
jobs
you got
and
for
a
us?
family. All right.
Yeah.
X-Files.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
a bit of it. I can't claim that I've seen the whole show, but I have watched a handful of those episodes.
It's
I
good
love some
up
of that stuff.
until Mulder leaves. And then-
Yeah,
I
That's when I
haven't
stopped.
finished it yet, and I do intend on finishing it, so don't
That's-
spoil it for me.
Yeah,
But I
when
started
Mulder
watching
leaves,
it
that's
when I had
checked out.
COVID, and then I quit when I got better.
The real question is, did you guys watch the spinoff, the
the
Lone Horseman?
No.
No, I didn't see
No.
that. I may
My
have saw
wife.
the first episode, but I don't think it was as good as I thought.
Well, thank you, Leanne Jones. Really glad Andy sent us over here. This channel is cool.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
We
it
are.
was really cool of Andy to
That
do
was very
It
nice.
was super cool. Yeah, we are really cool. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have a lot of fun over here.
We're
We had
just
a
okay.
Nice little spike.
Yeah.
And it's all because of me.
Yeah, Astro set it up.
Okay. This is super not genre, but it's kind of one of my the first season is one of my favorites. Tour of Duty.
What?
Never heard of it.
No, what is
No.
this?
Okay, so this was an 80s Vietnam War series. And the first season was really good. They shot it in Hawaii, and it was I think the reason it stood out to me is that main characters were 2 main characters were killed. I won't say anything if anyone ever wants to watch it, but
Mhm.
for me, when a show kills a main character that's displayed on the opening credits as so and so played by this, and then you watch them die, and you're like, wait,
You mean like Sam Neill in Invasion?
They marketed that entire show based off of Sam Neill being in it, and he dies in 15 minutes. And
Oh
you're
my
like,
goodness!
the whole season, I'm like,
Yeah.
are they going to bring him back? Nope.
Wow!
It was
No,
absurd. It
Still
was
dead.
Still dead.
Still dead.
Sam Neill is still dead. It was horrible. I loathe that show for that
Yeah,
reason.
it was funny because like when we were doing our Invasion review, so we did an episode by episode review of this Apple TV show called Invasion, and at the end of each episode, we'd be like, Sam Neill still dead.
Yep. Yeah. I was hugely disappointed because I'm a big Sam Neill fan, and the fact that they what's it called? They hoodwinked.
Stuntcast.
Yeah, they hoodwinked me into watching this show because of him.
Oh,
I'm
man,
still
that
mad
would,
about
that would
it.
piss me off. Yeah,
Yeah.
Would do it. I mean, at least in this, the main characters that you got to appreciate and know them.
Mhm.
They didn't kill them right away. They were just like all of a sudden it was like, wait, you just killed that guy. Whoa! And then the very next episode, it's like, oh my god, you just killed another one. But it gave the show, especially since it's covering the Vietnam War, a much more like, oh my god, if they can kill those 2, they can kill anyone. And you just it adds to the drama.
Mhm.
If you don't know which main characters might bite the bullet,
Yeah.
suddenly, I mean, as a teenager, I'd never experienced anything like that where a show would go out and kill somebody.
Well,
I
that's
think
like watching Game of Thrones or something.
I was gonna say for non-book readers, Game of Thrones did that. Like I never read the books. Game of Thrones, the TV show on HBO, was how I got introduced to that world, and I'm watching it, and like when they killed Ned Stark, I was like, I thought he was the main character.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just ended up somehow watching the ending of the episode with the red wedding,
Yeah,
just like
recently.
2 days ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I was like, Jesus.
remember
that
how
was
ruthless,
God.
dude.
I remember when I
Ruthless.
first started
Awful.
watching Game of Thrones. I had a friend who was a bartender, and we would go like hang out at his bar. And he was like, "Oh, what have you been doing?" And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I just started watching Game of Thrones." And he was like, "Oh, how far into it are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm still in the first season." He was like, "Who's king?" And I was like,
Mhm.
"Robert." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
I know. I remember. When Ned kicked it at the end of was at the end of the first or second season. First season. Yeah, I was like, holy crap! I thought he was the main character, and then
Yeah, everybody did.
yeah, everybody. That's what they wanted you to assume. And then when Robb Stark was the next main character for the
Uh-huh.
Stark side of the thing, I was like, Robb Stark, King of the North, yeah. And I was so
You
into it.
sweet summer
And I was like,
child.
his wife is so hot. They're gonna have a baby, and they're gonna rule the 7 kingdoms. And then nope. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, is
Jon Snow?
Jon Snow? And then they're like, nope, he dies too. And I was like, oh my God.
Hodor.
Oh, dude, I
Hodor.
freaking cried when they killed Hodor. Oh, that
Hold the door.
scene. Hold the door. Hold the door. God,
Hold
that
the
show
door.
was good back in the day. God dang it. How'd they screw that up?
Did George come up with that hold the door stuff?
Yeah, I think he told him that in
Yeah,
season
yeah.
one.
He told them that was like the backstory. But
Yeah.
Hey man, finish your fucking book so we can.
You talking to
move
him
on.
or Martin?
No, I'm talking to George.
Oh, yeah.
I want to
yeah.
start reading the books. I'm not going to start reading the series until they're all done.
yeah,
So I'm never gonna
I'm
read
a
'em.
long time suffering book reader
Yeah.
on that one.
I've got all the books pre-bought sitting on my shelf at home.
And you haven't touched
I haven't
them?
touched them because I want to be able to read the whole thing is one thing.
Yeah.
Pre-bought? You mean just
I went and bought them.
Bought-
I just went and bought them, put them on my shelf.
Yeah. He
It's like,
pre-ordered
get them
them.
all. They're
He
all there.
pre-ordered the series.
Speaking of books, did you finish Trial by Fire?
Trial by Fire.
My book.
Your book? No, I'm like two or three chapters in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Speaking of, Jude has a book just came out, guys. Since we have a like,
I didn't write it. I just narrated.
yeah. She's the voice actress or the narrator for the book, Trial by Fire, by Jada Fisher.
Mhm.
Go check it out. It's available right now on Audible.com.
Yeah. Dragons.
Dragons.
Post-apocalyptic dragons.
It's really good. Yeah, I'm 2 chapters in. Cool. Yeah, it's really good.
So Vader's brother just dropped this bomb on us.
It's true.
Vader's only read 5 books in his life.
That's,
What are they? What are they?
I don't know.
The Bible.
No, only what I was forced to read.
I doubt that very much.
No, I don't know. I read a lot of.
The manual for video games.
I read most of the Shannara books. I read a lot.
Oh, those were
I've read-
good.
I've read a lot of D&D books. I've read
Okay.
some Star Wars books.
I mean,
I read the Tolkien books.
Oh yeah.
You know, those were rough. Those were hard.
Tolkien.
Those are
I'm
a
in the
hard read.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Like here's the thing. I just learned this like in the last 4 or 5 years. I think I've gone my entire life with almost a bit of a reading disorder or something. One of those things where it's like I don't retain things
Mhm.
well. I have to read something like 3 or 4 times
Okay, yeah.
to be able to
Comprehend.
comprehend it
I gotcha.
completely. So I've never liked to read. I've never been good. I mean, I'm a good reader. I can spell, but I'm bad at retaining. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Amnesia.
So I don't know if that's
It's reading comprehension.
if
That's a thing. Yeah, it's a
but-
skill that you have to. It's like a muscle you
Yeah.
have to exercise. We got
So-
a 10.99. Sorry, not 10.99. $9.99. $10. Screw it. Mexican Iron Man says, "Dang it, just got off work listening while in traffic. Shot." Well, I'm sorry you're in traffic. That sucks. I hate being
Yeah,
in
that
traffic
sucks.
after work.
It's LA traffic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
LA traffic.
Ouch.
Oh,
It's like if
bro.
you're going to be a podcast listener, that's what you
Yep.
that would be the place to do
You
it.
do it in LA. I read Lord of the Rings to my kids. I
Yeah.
love it. I don't find them difficult to read at all.
Yeah. Oh,
I-
Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil's the shit. He's awesome. Yeah, I'm in the middle of reading Fellowship of the Rings to my kids, my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old, and they love it. I do the voices and stuff like that too. I do all kinds of crazy
no,
stuff.
I when the movies came out 20 years ago now or whatever it is, I made a pact with myself that before each movie came out, I was going to read the book,
Mhm.
and I did, and I literally I read each book 3 or 4 times because I'd finish a page like what, and I read the page again. It's like read it again.
You know what? You
So-
know what book I have on
yeah.
like almost constant repeat. It's almost like my go-to if I don't have anything else to read. I read this. It's Jurassic Park. I go back and read it. I even have it downloaded on Audible. I'll listen to it.
Mhm.
I'll just be like, that's my like. I don't feel like starting a new book. I should probably just read something. I'll read Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Oh, any more Astro?
Yeah, we're almost done here. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. You mentioned it, like the OG. I'm talking like 80s, 70s, Doctor Who.
Nope. Never. The
Mm-mm.
only exposure to Doctor Who I had was for our Patreon show when we reviewed those 4 episodes from.
I started with David Tennant.
Yeah, David Tennant was the only version I know. I've seen clips from some of the older ones, and I'm like you. It's like the British humor is
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know if I can handle it. Not my thing.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because when in the 80s, when I was a teenager, I would work at a supermarket, and my brothers and sister were into the Doctor Who was on PBS, and they would always try to get me to watch when I come home. I'm like, yeah, not happening. But it was one night where it was dead. And I got sent home to from work early because there's just nothing to do. All the hangout spots for the arcade games were all dead. So I was like, fine, I'll go home. And I wasn't going to watch it, but my mom was like, you know what? You should just sit down and watch it. And the episode was called Earthshock. And we talked about killing a main character. And at first I'm like, all right, yeah, I can see kind of why people would like this. But then they killed the main character. And I'm going, again, that was what made me go, okay, this show, I see it in a different light. I don't know what it is about killing a main character. I guess it's just because it's just something that just doesn't normally happen. You know, all these characters are probably going to get through at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I like the OG Doctor Who. I liked all the remakes up until more recent times, and it's kind of gone right off the rail. All right. So go ahead.
I was to say I've always had a respect for for Doctor Who fans. Because they're just, to me, they're kind of similar to Trekkies and people like me. I just was never exposed to Doctor Who when I was younger, especially the old original stuff like we're talking about here. Wasn't something I even knew about until later when they redid this new stuff with Tennant and everybody. And I've tried and I just can't. It's too British for me, I guess. So but I there's guys like out there like Nick.
Oh yeah, Nick loves it.
My brother, I think, likes Doctor Who. I think my brother's a bigger nerd than I am. But I've never been able to understand the appeal, but it is what it is, and I have no issues with anybody who likes Doctor Who. It's a cool series.
I think similar how we were talking before about how like my kids' generation has everything at their fingertips. They can watch whatever they want and it's on demand, at any time. I feel like when you grow up and you have just like one thing to watch and it's Doctor Who and you watch it, you become a fan. It's very similar to that. Like old school fans of Doctor Who, that's what they grew up watching. It's like us with TNG. It was the only thing on TV. They picked it up, they watched it, they're fans, they're diehards now, and they just keep on trucking with the franchise. Whereas people like us who maybe didn't watch it when we were kids, like going back, it almost seems intimidating because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
It's like, when do I go back? Do I go back to the original from the 60s? Because that's kind of rough. Or do I pick up with Tennant and move forward from there? It's a big franchise to jump into. Speaking of Backyard TARDIS, his namesake is from Doctor Who, $5. You all need to see what I've been talking about in Doctor Who Discord chat. Prophetic pink hair women regime. I know, yeah. On our Discord, go to saltinerdiscord.com. We have a dedicated chat just for Nick and his Doctor Who fans.
Scissor talks to himself.
A long time ago when we first started the Discord, he's like, hey, can you set up a Doctor Who chat for me? I was like, absolutely, sure. So now it's actually picking up some steam. He's got some fans in there. So if you're a old school Doctor Who fan, join up at saltinerdiscord.com and join Nick and talk about that show because he loves having chats with old school fans.
We have a Buffy chat in there too.
We do have a Buffy.
That's open to everybody. You don't have to have a weird invite key or anything like that. It's set up.
Yeah.
Just go to saltinerdiscord.com and it will take you right to it.
Yep. Open to the public. So join up. It's a lot of fun. We have a great community over there, and we do watch parties.
We do watch parties on Monday nights, and we also do them on other days when I have some time to spare.
When Vader has to watch something and he doesn't want to do it alone.
Yes.
All right. Got one more?
Nah, I got a couple more if you don't mind. Space 1999.
We got time for one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
to roll.
All right. So it's The Expanse then.
Oh, The Expanse is dope.
Tom has been trying to get me to watch The Expanse for as long as it's been out. Yeah.
Unbelievably good. It's so much crazy sci-fi awesomeness that it's actually pretty accurate for like real world physics and stuff.
Yeah.
I think what our astrophysicist friend, Dr. Thomas Target, said that it's the most accurate sci-fi show out there.
Interesting.
And it's like a noir detective storyline for most of it. Like
it's actually a really good show, and it's based off of a series of books. And the first season is actually like really close to the novel. So
yeah. And before we leave, though, we have Bob Dorsey here with $25. Thank you, sir, for your generosity. That's incredible. I am late. And not in that way. God, that's scary hearing from. Anyway, I've heard those words and they're terrifying. I'll listen later. Enjoy your day. Thank you, Bob,
Thanks,
so
Bob.
much. Sorry you missed the show, but I hope you enjoyed
we
the
got all the
replay.
superstars here. We got
Yeah.
Astro,
Yeah.
Bob, and Scotty.
It's
Hey,
nice.
man.
It's nice having the Saturday crew.
No. It's a Tuesday crew now. Okay,
Well,
you can borrow them on Saturdays. No, I do have Stream Envy. You guys have an awesome selection of great.
Well, you're going to
great
be
people.
joining this soon, right?
If
as
I
a
have
regular?
room, I don't know. You guys,
Saturday is going to be pretty fun for you guys.
Yeah.
we have a big announcement. You want to lend off with a big announcement for what's going on for us this week, Kadish, or do you want to reserve that for later?
Oh, we've been talking about it all week.
Oh, okay.
All last week. Yeah.
Well,
Well, while people are watching, tell them.
Yeah, so we have filmmaker Lynn Kabaczynski, who made the classics Swamp Zombies, Curse of the Wolf, Fist of the Vampire.
It's the Curse of the Wolf.
Yes,
I can't hear the title of that movie without singing the theme
It's the
song.
Curse of the Wolf. Yeah. So his latest movie, Pact of Vengeance, came out a while ago, and he's coming into town to record a commentary track for it here at the studio. And so while he's here in town, he's going to be our special guest on our Salty Saturday live streams, which we do every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to have Brian from the Popcast. He's actually going to drive in so he can be in studio with us. And so we're actually going to do the entire live stream from the studio with special guest Lynn Kabaczynski.
Nice.
So,
We got this chat right here. How often you guys go live? So we do Saturday shows, 10 a.m. every Saturday with these guys.
Pacific time.
Pacific time?
Yeah,
10 a.m.,
Pacific,
yep.
West Coast. And also on Tuesdays at 1:30 is when this live stream starts. And we have a different type of show almost every
Also
week.
Pacific time?
Also Pacific time?
Yeah,
If
we're
you
actually trying to get more Las Vegas locals because we're in Las Vegas
haven't-
to actually come into studio on Tuesdays and do the show
and sit down with us. Yeah, that'd be really cool. That's my
Yeah.
goal. My goal for this show is to have people in the local area kind of hang out with us. So stay tuned because we do a lot of really fun stuff on this channel. And thank you guys. If you're coming from Popcorn Planet, that's absolutely
Yeah,
fantastic.
that was awesome.
Thanks for hanging out with us. I know we're on like 2.5 hours for this live stream, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Also, we should have Astro shout out his channel.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We are simulcasting to Astro's channel. So Astro, where can they find you at?
So if you look up Astro Nerdboy, you can find me just like way too many places. But I've got my main channel, Astro Nerdboy, and then the one that's just for games. The one that I do that's more entertainment related, with more of an anime bent, it looks like, because that seems to be kind of popular, is Astro Nerdboy Rambles. So both those are on YouTube. Feel free
Right
to
on.
subscribe if you like.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us today. Really
And
appreciate
thank
it.
you for
It was fun.
having me. I really appreciate it. It was very interesting, and yeah, I look forward to your channel continuing to grow and for you guys to have great success in the future.
It was nice having you host today because it kind of took the pressure off of us. We just got to sit back and answer questions.
Yeah, I had no idea because I just got back from this trip. I didn't have time to really plan out what I was going to talk about
That's
today.
perfect.
Katie was like, "Oh, Astro's hosting." I was like,
I'll
I'm
just
glad
sit
to
back
help.
and drink half a bottle of tequila.
Dude,
Woo!
okay, listen. The Rock's tequila might be bullcrap. He might water this down
Listen,
because we're like a third of the way through this bottle, and we're
Anybody-
fine.
Anybody who knows me and Alex knows that by this time of day,
We're
we're
sloshed. Yeah. I go home and take a nap.
Yeah,
It like the whiskey will do it to me, but this tequila, I'm like,
I'm tequila proof.
I could drink more.
I don't want
I
to
don't
bone
get it.
anything. I don't want to fight anybody.
Oh man. Anyway, on that note, guys, thank you all for joining us on this live stream. Astro, thank you for hosting. Please like and subscribe if you're here from Popcorn. You'll love our channel. We do all kinds of really fun stuff with movies and
Lots of movie reviews.
lots of movie reviews. This month is June Claude Van Damme, and coming up in a couple of weeks will be Jurassic June, where we're talking about an awesome freaking shark movie that just came out. So
Can't
join
wait.
us.
Can't
It's
wait.
going to be great.
Prehistoric sharks.
Can't wait.
What's the catchphrase for that episode? I know a big ass shark when I see one. That's the episode. I cannot wait to record this month. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay salty, my friends. We'll see you next week. And Lynn Kabaczynski, how do you say his last name?
Kabaczynski.
Kabaczynski will be in studio with us this week. So subscribe and stay tuned. We'll have him here with us doing a lot of fun stuff. So thank you all. Stay salty.